Okay, Gary, let's talk about your damn report. They both jumped out my car. Please, quit. For the love of God.
What?
Have a good night.
No.
Hey, you too. If you need anything, just give me a call on the phone, okay? As soon as I make sure everything's clear throughout the area, I'm gonna turn this radio off and I'll see you guys in the morning. Or might not see you in the morning. It might be a little later now than normal, but I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Oh, yes, being early, buddy.
I think the plow driver's drunk.
I'll still be in early. I'm always early.
Drop that.
Hey, thank you for going up there and helping out tonight. I really appreciate it, especially through the storm. We'll hopefully get back to normal here soon.
For real.
Yeah, it's all good.
Thirty-three 1-402. Hey, buddy, how's everything going?
I'm almost done checking it out.
Okay, 10-4, just let me know when you're heading back out. That way, you know, we all hear. That way Ken knows too, so he can start working his way back down to his road. Roger that.
The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, music by the Kingsmen and Billy Mills Orchestra. The show opens with Blow, Gabriel, Blow.
32-1-402.
Some people are just naturally more thrifty than others. But most of us, no matter how much we try to save, are wasteful in little things. Don't these little things pile up into big ones? For example, do you always remember to put the covers back securely on packages like coffee, toothpaste, yes, even floor wax? Next time you use your can or bottle of Johnson's Wax, remember to put the lid or cover back on tightly. That prevents evaporation and helps keep the wax in best condition. And here's another conservation tip on Johnson's Wax. For best results, use it sparingly in a thin coat and spread it as far as it will go. You don't need a heavy coat to get protection for your floors, furniture, or woodwork, your leather goods, enameled or painted surfaces. A thin coat polished to a hard surface gives not only protection, but rich, mellow beauty. The way to a man's heart may be through his stomach, but if you want to take a shortcut, go through his ego. As witness, Mrs. Uppington talking to Fibber McGee and Molly.
So what did you tell your nephew, Uppy?
I told him to come and see you, Mr. McGee, that you were just the man to give him some advice on how to get on in the world and to make something of himself. You don't mind.
Oh. Mind. Look at him, Abigail. He's as proud and happy as a man who doesn't own a car, can't eat sugar, and hates coffee.
You send that boy to me, Uppy. I'll put him straight.
Oh, splendid, Mr. McGee, splendid. He's not a bad boy, just at loose ends.
What do you mean, loose ends, Abigail?
Well, the last I knew, he was a cook in a spaghetti place.
Oh, I see. Loose ends. I see what you mean. Well, how's he for the Army and Navy, Uppy?
Oh, he's tried many times to enlist, Mr. McGee, but they've always turned him down.
Why?
Oh, for mere boyish
How you
pranks.
doing down there, Kid?
Forgery, for one thing.
Forgery? You call forgery a boyish prank? What's murder to you? Disorderly conduct?
Oh, but it was a boyish prank in this case, Mr. McGee.
Yeah?
He wanted the Army to think he would be a good soldier, so he signed his application, Ulysses S. Grant.
Well, I can understand that, Abigail, but why did the Navy refuse him?
His reflexes were too good.
Too good.
Yes. When they tapped him on the knee with that little rubber hammer, he kicked the doctor right in the jaw.
A simple case of overenthusiasm.
He tried for the Marines, Uppy?
Indeed he did, Mr. McGee, but he was turned down for deafness. Yes, it seems he didn't hear them when they told him to put the sergeant's watch back where he got it.
You know, I think the boy is just full of high spirits, Abigail, and maybe just a touch of larceny.
Well, I can handle him, Uppy. I'll make him brace up and act like a man. I'll tell him how I started out as a ragged little newsboy. Saved my money, went to night school.
McGee.
Huh?
Remember, this is Tuesday.
So what?
Needless day.
Huh?
Save the bologna.
Well, I'll send him over here this evening, Miss McGee, and you give him a good talking to. He thinks very highly of you.
Just leave it to me, Uppy. It's obvious the boy just got in with a tough crowd, that's all. Associated with the wrong people. How does he spend his spare time?
Playing school, I believe.
Oh, my. With whom, Abigail?
Well, I don't know all of them, of course, but he says a week ago Saturday he took Mr. McGee for
We could go Saturday. I don't remember that.
Look, my ragged little newsboy. Aren't you getting a little out of your depth?
What you mean out of my depth?
Setting yourself up to giving young men advice. Who do you think you are, Horace Gridley?
That was Horace Greeley.
You know me, I don't know one horse from another. Anyway, now, when her nephew comes over here tonight, I hope you... Say, what's his name?
His name? Oh, you know his name. Name is what his name is. Now, wait a minute now.
You should know it. You played pool with him, she said.
Doggone it, I don't know everybody I play pool with.
That's the trouble. You're associating with the wrong crowd. Bad company. Say, incidentally, when did you ever go to night school?
Well, it was just the same as night school. They kept me in often. I never got home till after dark. What is that guy's name? Shucks, I know his name as well as I do my own.
And what is your name?
My name is, now wait a minute. I got it right here on my driver's license. Fibber McGee.
Oh. How do you do?
Very glad to make... Oh, cut it out. I'm trying to think. I got to think of that kid's name. Oh, I know.
What?
I'm going to get out of that spaghetti place where he works and get some dope on him. I'll be right back.
Wait a minute, I'll go with you. You'll forget his name before you get home. Is there any gasoline in the car?
Yeah, but it's got 2 flat tires. I'll call a cab.
Oh, now, McGee, spending all that money just...
Molly, this is worth it. A boy's future is at stake. It's a great responsibility. Why, when I think how I struggled up the ladder of success, scrimping and saving and burning the midnight oil to a... Hey, where are you going?
To get my hat. Mrs. Uppington's nephew may have to listen to that malarkey, but I don't. You call a cab, I'll be right down, dearie.
Ah, boy, what a chance to be a good influence in a kid's life. Now, look here, son, I'll say. Every clean, living, red-blooded American boy has got...
Hi, mister.
Beat it, sis. I haven't got time to talk to you today. I got a mole to carry.
Oh.
You see, my boy, us men who have reached the top of the ladder...
Hey, mister.
Quit shaking the ladder. I mean... Look, sis, will you please...
Hey, do you know Bob Hope, mister?
Why, sure I know Bob Hope. Why?
Is he nice?
Oh, he's great, sis. There ain't a guy in show business that gives more of his time and his work to a good cause than Bob Hope.
Oh.
He's not only a sincere American, but he's a great comedian. And he's got one of the best radio shows on... Hey, what am I saying? Why do you want to know about Bob Hope?
Well, maybe I better tell you 1st, mister, that the Junior Red Cross is calling for new members between November 1st and 15th.
Well, that's fine, but I don't quite...
And it's up to us kids to show we're interested in it so we can get our teachers to introduce it in our classroom activities, I betcha.
Good for you, sis. But what does Bob Hope
It's
got?
awful important, mister. Gee, did you know that ever since President Wilson started it in the last war, the Junior Red Cross is going to be the biggest organization for us kids in the world?
That goes without saying, sis.
You're too late, I already said it.
I know, but what I meant
Did
to
you
say...
know that the Junior Red Cross collected almost 1 million pounds of scrap 3 months after the war started? Did you, mister? Did you? Did you?
I can't
And
say
did
that...
you know that we donated over $300,000 for relief of children in war zones? Did you? Did you?
Well,
And
$300,000.
did you know the Junior Red Cross sent over 100,000 gift boxes to 33 countries last year? Did you? Did you?
Well, no, I never
I
realized.
bet you didn't even know we donated over 3 million comfort and entertainment items to our armed forces, I bet you.
Well, sis, this begins to sound like an important hunk of business. What's the procedure as to getting the grip and the password?
Well,
I says, what does a boy or girl got to do to join up?
Oh, it's easy, mister. All they gotta do is ask their teacher to get in touch with the local Red Cross for complete information.
Well, that's very interesting. And I'm glad you told me about it, sis, because... Hey, wait a minute. But why were you asking about Bob Hope?
Well, we gotta get this message across to a whole lot of people, mister, and I thought if you knew Mr. Hope, maybe you could get him to put it on the radio.
Now, you just sit down there, my boy, and let's talk this thing all over. I'm not going to lecture you. I was a young fellow once myself, but I was ambitious. Started out as a ragged little newsboy. One day, a rich customer gave me a $5 gold piece, thinking it was a quarter, and he was gone before I discovered the mistake. Well, sir, I'll admit I was tempted, but my better judgment won out, and I never told him about it. That's why I always say to you young fellas... Huh? Oh, nobody. Just rehearsing what I'm going to tell Uppington's nephew tonight.
Ragged little newsboy. Say, you couldn't sell papers at 3% if Mussolini shot Hitler 96 points high. Is the taxi cab here yet?
Nobody's on his way. Doggone, I wish I could think of Uppington's nephew's name. That's mad, isn't it?
Well, we're certainly finding out the expensive way. Say, maybe if we call... Uh-oh, there's the cab here. Are you ready?
All set, come on.
You Mr. McGee, you cook a kid?
You betcha, Bud. We want to go to that spaghetti place on the corner of 14th and Oak.
Oh, you don't want to go there, Doc. That's a horrible journey.
Huh?
Why, that guy serves a meatball that's strictly a leftover from the National Open. Now, I know a place up on here.
Look, driver, we don't want any other place. We want the one at 14th and Oak for a certain reason.
Okay, lady, you're the doctor. And if your husband needs stairs, he'll need one. Up in, folks. Well, here you are, folks.
So you better wait for us, driver. We'll only be in here a minute.
Lady, a minute in that joint is the experience of a lifetime. Now, me personally, I got a bad case of romaine eating in there one night.
You mean ptomaine, Bud. Romaine is a kind of a lettuce.
Well, maybe it was the lettuce, Doc, but it sure give me a bad taste of romaine.
Come on, McGee. Can't you hear that meter going jingle, jangle, jingle?
Okay, we'll be back in a minute, Bud.
Well, hello there, kids. Welcome to Chateau Ravioli.
Well, for goodness sakes, Mr. Oldtimer. How long you been working here?
Seems like ages, daughter. Started this morning. What do you have, kids?
What would you recommend?
I'd recommend you eat someplace else, Johnny.
We didn't come here to eat anyway, old-timer. We just want a little information. You know Mrs. Uppington?
Sure do, Johnny. Ain't she one of them Mabels and Sables that always looks like she was being drugged with a check rein?
That's a perfect description. You know, she had a nephew working here a few days ago, and we wanted to find out something about him.
Oh, here. Kind of musical kid, eh?
Musical?
Yep. Boss caught him playing pennies from heaven on the cash register. Fired him right out on his second day of work.
Well, now tell us, what was his name?
His name?
Name.
Yes, name. N-A-M-E, name. That thing that people always spell wrong in gold letters when they give you a billfold for Christmas.
Oh, his name?
Yeah.
Well, let me think, kids. His name was, read it, know it as well as I do my own.
Oh, my, this is taking us up more blind alleys than a bowling ball. Where did he go from here, Mr. Oldtimer?
Well, daughter, the fry cook told the dishwasher that the garbage man says the kid got a job down to the city hall.
Oh, City Hall, eh? Must have some influence.
Yes, probably knows where the tires are buried. Well, come in again, kids, sometime when you ain't hungry.
Thank you, Mr. Oldtimer. Goodbye.
All right, Bud, take us to the City Hall.
Okay, Doc, any way you say. Mind not to reason why, mind but to do and die. Into the value with debt road to 600. Cannon to the right of him, cannon to the left of him, cannon to the behind of him. Cannon. Gee, don't you get a bang out of poetry, Doc?
Look, Swinburne, it isn't your rhyme that frightens us, it's your meter. Let's get going.
Lady, use as the master. I am your slave. Consider my taxi cab your magic copper. To whisk is away to far off.
Ah, now he thinks he's Fitzpatrick. Come on, get going.
Doc, use as mundane. Well, the City Hall, folks. The municipal building. The seat of our local government. It's called the seat of government because if you've got any kicks to register.
Oh, please, driver, please. Never mind the vaudeville.
Yeah, and you better wait for us again, too, Bud. We're in this far, we might as well keep on. Come on, Molly.
Okay, dearie. Now, where do we go, McGee?
To the mayor's office. I'm a great believer in going right to the top.
I noticed that when you took me to the show the other night.
Huh?
We sat so high they had oxygen tanks under the seats.
Well, hello there, folks. What goes on?
Hello, Mr. Wilcox.
We got to see the mayor on a little business, Harlow. Hey, do you know Mrs. Uppington's nephew?
No, I can't say I know him exactly. I've met him. Kind of a roughneck. Why?
Oh, well, what's his name?
His name is, well, I know his name as well as I do my own, but I can't remember it.
Nobody can remember that guy's name. He's as anonymous as the Iron Man in the mask.
You mean the man in the iron mask, Fibber?
It was not. It was the Iron Man in the mask.
I think Mr. Wilcox is right, dearie.
Well, I know better, Molly, begging your pardon for the argument. I remember everything I read, word for word.
Do you really?
Yes, I do.
All right. What does the label on a can of Johnson's Glow Coat say?
Oh, he's got you there, McGee.
Oh, no, he hasn't. Now, let me think a minute. It says Johnson's Glow Coat Floor Polish.
Yeah, that's right so far.
Then it says Glow Coat is a marvelous floor polish that needs no rubbing or polishing.
Yeah.
Easy to apply, shines as it dries to a bright, transparent luster.
Right.
Made for use on linoleum, rubber, asphalt base, terrazzo, whatever that is, and varnished or painted wood floor.
Well, how's he doing, Mr. Wilcox?
Why, it's marvelous, word for word. Go on, Fibber.
And it says, especially suited for
Linoleum.
kitchen linoleum and all floors which are frequently mopped because of ease with which flow coat finish can be renewed. Covers 3,000 square feet to the gallon. Keeps from freezing, made in the USA. Then on the other side of the container,
Heavenly day.
Fibber, I never heard anything like it. That's terrific. How did you ever learn to do that?
oh, it's just a trick. Anybody could do it if I told them how.
Well, if your memory is so marvelous, why can't you remember the name of Mrs. Uppington's nephew?
Simply on account of I never read it anyplace.
Well, I'll have to admit, pal, that you're slightly colossal. Wait till I write the Johnson people about this. It's amazing. I think I'll go and call them up right now. I'll see you later, folks. And from now on, it's the Iron Man in the mask.
What's so funny?
I'm just happy he didn't let me try to remember what was on the other side of that container.
Why, couldn't you do it?
No. He had one in his pocket, and I could only read the side he had sticking out.
Why, you little fraud, McGee. How could you be so...
Hey, here's the mayor's office. Come on. Hi, Latrivia. Got a minute to spare?
Just about, McGee. Good day, Mrs. McGee.
Hello, Mr. Mayor. We'll get right to the point. Do you know Mrs. Uppington?
Oh, yes, indeed. Very charming woman.
To you, Latrivia, any woman is charming if she's a woman and can vote.
Exactly. And if she votes for me, she's not only charming, but beautiful.
That's the illogical statement I've heard since the Japs said our invasion of Africa was illegal. Look, Mr. Mayor, for certain reasons, we want some information on Mrs. Uppington's nephew.
And we heard he was working here in the city hall.
If he's really working, it's a political novelty of no mean proportions, McGee. What is the young man's name?
We don't know.
Well, how can I give you information about someone whose name you don't even know? I am not a Swami.
So what? I can't swim a stroke myself. All we ask for...
Oh, come. I'm a busy man. I have no time to waste on ridiculous things.
You answered, Mr. Mayor. It's probably for you.
It's quite possible. Excuse me. Mayor's office. My honor speaking.
Big shot.
Oh, yes. Well, there's only one thing to do. Get a gang of huskies and take an axe to them.
What's this?
You heard me. Chop off their heads so nobody will recognize them, see? Then hack off their legs and chop up the bodies and haul them away. No. I'll meet you there at exactly midnight. Oh, stop worrying. I'll handle the police angle. Now get going. As I was saying, McGee...
We heard every word of it, Trivia. You can't get away with it. You fiend in human form. You axe murderer.
You, Dr. Jello and Mr. Hyde? McGee, what do we do?
Now, look here. If you insist on intruding into the affairs of this office...
Oh, your affairs include murder today. Gangster. Molly, grab that phone and call the police. I'll handle it.
Oh, stop it, McGee. Don't be a fool. They'll be sweating. Now, let go of me.
Get me the police, quick.
Ow! Fight fair, Latrivia. Quit hitting me on the nose.
Hello, police department. This is the mayor.
Give me that phone. Sergeant, this is the mayor. Forget this call. Now behave yourself, McGee, and go away.
Okay. We'll go right to the newspapers. How do you like those potatoes?
No. Not that, McGee. They'll make an issue of it. They'll ruin me.
And how about all those people you're going to murder?
Yeah.
Those aren't people, they're statues.
Huh?
We're chopping up some old iron statues in the park and turning them in for scrap metal. Now get out, both of you!
This is worth fighting for.
Last night through my open window, I saw the starlight gleam, and then the starlight faded, and through the mist of a dream, I saw a peaceful old valley with a carpet of corn for a floor, and I heard a voice Didn't I build that cabin? Didn't I plant that corn? Didn't my folks before me fight for this country before I was born? I gathered my loved ones around me, and I gazed at each face I adore, and I heard a voice within me singing, this is worth fighting for. Didn't I plow that valley? Didn't I reap that corn? Didn't my father's father battle for freedom when freedom was born? I gathered my loved ones around me, and I gazed at each face I adore, and I heard a voice within me thunder. This is worth fighting for.
All right, driver, we're all ready to go home now.
Okay, lady. Gee, I was beginning to get worried about you.
Why worried, Bud?
Well, I only got a couple of gallons of gas left, see? Though I can get 15 miles to the gallon stop and go, so I can still take you anywhere within a radio of 30 miles.
You mean a radio?
No, I never have time to listen, lady.
Well, take us back to 79 Wistful Vista, Bud.
Oh, wait a minute, McGee. There's Mr. Wimple. Yoo-hoo, Mr. Wimple.
Oh, hello, Mrs. McGee. Hello, Mrs.
Hi, Wimp, old man. You going our way?
Yes, if you're going home, Mr. McGee.
Well, hop right in, Mr. Wimple.
Yeah.
This is simply wonderful of you folks. Won't Sweetie Face be surprised when I tell her I had a ride in a real taxi cab?
Where have you been today, Mr. Wimple?
I've been taking my ocarina lesson, Mrs. McGee.
Oh, the sweet potato, eh?
Yes. I've been taking lessons since 1923.
Oh, heavenly days, you must be pretty good. Have you got your ocarina with you?
Oh, no, I haven't got one.
You haven't?
No, I haven't got that far yet.
Boy, Sweetie Face slams you around, Wimp. You better skip the sweet potato and study on the harp.
Oh, she doesn't mean any harm, Mr. McGee. She's just playful.
Oh.
We were playing drop the handkerchief all morning.
Oh, you were really. Was it fun?
Not much. She dropped the handkerchief out the upstairs window, and then I'd have to bring it back in the house.
You mean she made you run all the way down the stairs and get the hanky and run back upstairs with it?
Oh, no, Mr. McGee. She isn't that mean to me. I only had to run upstairs. The handkerchief was in my pocket when she dropped it.
Well, that's different. You know, you're quite a talented man, Mr. Wimple. The way you write poetry and play the ocarina.
I used to be very good in a business way, too, Mrs. McGee.
In what, Wimp?
Salesmanship.
Oh.
They called me a red-hot salesman.
What were you selling?
Red hot.
Well, here we are, folks. Safe and sound. That'll be $6.35.
Heavenly days.
Well, it was in a good cause, Molly. Here's $7, Bud. Keep the change. All but 50 cents.
Well, thank you ever so much for the ride, Mr. McGee and Mrs. McGee. Goodbye now.
Goodbye, Mr. Wimple.
Now, so long, Wimp.
Ta-ta, Wally.
Goodbye, Georgie. It was a nice ride.
Gee, thanks, Wally.
Say, do you two know each other?
My goodness, yes. We're old friends. George, this is Mr. and Mrs. McGee.
Oh, yeah, I know. We're old friends, too.
Huh? We are?
Yeah, sure. You remember me. Huh? I'm Mrs. Upton's nephew, George Upton.
If you have Venetian blinds at your windows, you've probably noticed that they get much dirtier in winter than in summer. We receive many letters from women telling us that right about now is a good time to wax these blinds with genuine Johnson's wax. Not only because they soil less readily, but because cleaning their waxed surfaces is so much easier. And while we're on the subject of windows, how many of you have waxed your window sills recently? When dirt and rain come in at an open window, they can't do much harm when the finish is protected with a coat of Johnson's wax. And again, cleaning is easier, and waxed surfaces add great beauty to a room.
Oh, McGee, here's a telegram just came for you.
Oh, thanks.
Who's it from?
From Peoria, Illinois. Signed Happy Whirly.
Oh.
We know anybody named Happy Whirly?
Not that I know of. What's it say?
If not, I got
Just played your new RKO picture, Here We Go Again, in my theater, and must confess, you have made everybody in Peoria ill.
What? Let me see that one.
Huh?
Oh, they've got the happy in the wrong place. It says you have made everybody in Peoria ill. Happy, signed word. Word. You know, he's the theater manager there, remember?
Oh, sure. Old Len Whirly. Imagine me forgetting a name.
Sure.
Huh? Oh, good night.
Good night, all.
The characters of Wallace Wimple and the old-timer heard on this program were played by Bill Thompson. This is Harlow Wilcox speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax Finishes for the home and industry. We invite you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night. This program has reached you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company. Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coats present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. The show opens with This Is the Army, Mr. Jones. Every now and then I overhear a friendly argument about who has the hardest job in a family, the man who earns the money or the woman who takes care of the home. I know I should side with the man, and of course most men are working harder today than ever before in their lives. But aren't you ladies doing that too? I'll say you are, and my hat is off to you. With less help and more outside activities and war work, you still have all the chores, and besides that, you've got to take better care of everything you have to make it last. You can't neglect your cleaning either, because dirt wears things out. What you can do is to practice protective housekeeping. Protect your floors, furniture, woodwork with genuine Johnson's Wax. The coat of wax acts as a shield against dirt and wear, guards finishes against scratches and fingerprints. And in the bargain, Johnson's Wax Protection saves you hours of work, reduces daily cleaning to a minimum, and adds greatly to the beauty of your home. Isn't it fun to go for a walk in the new fallen snow with the icy winds bringing a tingle to your blood and whipping the roses into your cheeks? Oh, you don't think so? Well, neither do Fibber McGee and Molly.
Ah, boy, I'm sure I ain't out in that snow. Glad I'm not out in that snow, I mean. I'll take my flakes made out of corn with cream and sugar.
You know, I love the first snow of winter myself.
You do?
Why, sure, you'll have to admit it's beautiful, McGee. Just think, a foot and a half of snow and made of billions and billions of little crystals, each one a tiny little work of art.
Yeah, and you take a handful of them little works of art and sprinkle them on the top step of the porch, and wham! They carry you inside with a busted clavicle.
Don't be like that now. You haven't any appreciation of nature, dearie.
Oh, I have so, too. Nobody gets a bigger honk out of a beautiful sunset than I do.
And why? Because right after the sunset comes supper.
Well, so what? Anyway, I'm glad it's stormy and I can't go anyplace.
Well, that's fine. Then you can help me clean out the attic.
What do you mean, clean out the attic? We just did.
When?
Why, well, it was just before...
Just before Election Day?
Yeah.
And who got elected?
Roosevelt.
Which one?
Teddy, but my gosh, the attic can't affect me.
Listen, McGee, we've got to do it.
Molly, I ain't going to have time to be...
Besides, I think I saw your old Army uniform up there.
I don't care. That attic has gone this long and it could... You saw what?
I think I saw your old Army uniform. The one you've been looking for all these years?
Well, why didn't you say so? Did it have my sharpshooter's medal on it?
I didn't notice. Were you a sharpshooter?
Was I a sharpshooter? You know what I used to do?
What?
I used to hold my rifle over my left shoulder with a looking glass in my left hand and knock a cigarette out of a soldier's mouth at 200 yards.
Heavenly days. Who on earth would volunteer to let you do that?
Oh, an old buddy of mine. One-ear Coggins. He was always...
You mean the poor lad that only had one ear? How'd he lose the other one?
Well, if you must know, even a sharpshooter like me has his off days. Come on, let's go up in the attic.
Wait a minute now. You better put on some old clothes. It's pretty dusty up there.
My old clothes don't fit me anymore. I tried on those old green pants of mine this morning, and I split the whole seat out of them.
McGee, you didn't have any green pants.
Huh?
Those were my new slacks.
They were?
Yes, and they cost me $7.95 too. Oh, McGee.
Oh, well, okay, I'm sorry. But that's what women get for wearing trousers. There was a time when a man knew what was his and what was his wife's. Now, if he dresses in the dark, he's lucky if he don't get whistled at by the guys in front of the cigar.
Just the same, dearie, I'm in
It used to
favor.
be in your sweet little Alice blue gown, and now it's in your baggy old Harris tweed slacks.
My slacks are not baggy, McGee.
Now, maybe yours aren't, but did you ever see Mrs. Uppington in hers? She looks like she was walking around sitting down. Now, let's go up in the attic and get it cleaned up.
Oh, for goodness sakes, I wonder who's out on a day like this.
Must be some friend of ours. I don't know any strangers that silly. Come in.
Hi, mister.
Oh, hello there, little
Oh,
girl.
hello there, dear. McGee, now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going up in the attic. You come up as soon as you can.
I'll be right up, Molly, just as soon as I get rid of it. I'll be right up. What's on your mind, sis?
Hey, there's a dandy lot of snow out now, mister, and I thought maybe you'd want to pull me on my sled. Will you?
No, I won't. You couldn't get me out of the house today with dynamite.
You mean you won't pull me on my sled?
No.
Don't you like little children?
Yes, I do, but I'm very fond of my health, too. The only time I want to play on the ice now is when my upper lip coasts down a cold cube in a tall glass of root beer. You catch on?
According to my daddy, you're going to play outdoors a lot this winter, I bet you.
And stop quoting your old man at me, too. He was born dumb, and he's been losing ground ever since.
You can't talk that way about my daddy. He's a nice man.
Well, you're the one who brought him up, and he's the one who brought you up, and two wrongs don't make a right. Anyway, how does he know how much I'm going to play outside?
I don't know, but after he heard your last couple of programs, he said, boy, that mug is going to have some hard sledding this winter.
Oh, he said that, did he?
Sure. But I don't think he meant it.
You don't?
No, he looked awful happy when he said it.
Now look, too little and too late. I haven't got time to stand around and rattle a cup of you now, so go on home. Beat it, I'm busy.
What you doing?
I'm going to clean out the attic. Mrs. McGee just found my old army uniform up there from the last war.
Oh, gee. Were you in the last war, mister? Were you a general?
Well, no, I wasn't. Though if it hadn't been for petty politics... but that's a long story. You know what General Pershing said to me when I asked him to make me a captain?
No.
Who told you? I mean... Now, look, sis, you drop in some other time and I'll show you my sharpshooter's medal.
All righty. Gee, I never knew you had a sharpshooter's medal, mister.
Well, I have.
What'd you get it for? What'd you?
Doggone it, I got it for sharpshooting. I used to hit the bullseye 99 times out of 100.
Oh, didn't it hurt him?
Hurt who?
The bull.
There wasn't any bull to it.
Oh, no? 99 times out of 100? Oh, no. What's wrong, mister?
Oh, just look at this attic, McGee. Did you ever see so much junk?
What do you mean, junk? There's a lot of valuable stuff in this junk. Hey, where'd you see my old uniform?
Isn't that right there behind you?
Huh?
Isn't that it there?
Well, I'll be it. It sure is. Oh, look. Here's where I tore the knee climbing into a truck outside of St. Nazaire. Here's where a bayonet went through the shoulder.
Heavenly days, McGee. In a hand-to-hand fight?
No, on a dark road. I stumbled and fell on my Springfield. And here's my sharpshooter's medal. Did I ever tell you? Huh?
You never told me you were in the Air Force.
I wasn't.
Well, then what are those wings on the left breast of your coat?
Where? I don't see any. Oh, that's a moth. Shoot!
Oh, look, McGee. Here's a newspaper from September 3rd, 1922, 20 years ago. And listen to this headline. German printing presses pour out 100 billion marks every day. Why were they printing all that money, McGee?
Inflation. Terrible mess. In Germany, after the last war, it took a bushel basket of money to buy a pair of shoestrings. If anybody had the shoes to put them in.
Heavenly days. Does every war do that?
Don't have to. That's why the government wants us to buy war bonds and pay off our debts and buy only what we need. If they keep things under control, then after the war, our money will really be worth something. Hey, do something for me, will you, Molly?
What?
Save that headline. Every time I start yipping about taxes, wave it in my face.
It's a promise. Every time. What do you got there?
Bunch of old letters in the bottom of this trunk. Oh, here's one from my granduncle Jefferson.
Oh, my.
I ain't heard of that old snarly old coot for years and years and years.
Is it addressed to you?
Oh, no, it says, to whomsoever in the McGee family it may concern. I guess that's me as much as anybody. Here, you read it. Stingy old twerp must have wrote it with a toothpick in homemade ink.
No, it's probably nothing. McGee, listen to this. It says, should any of my descendants read this note, this is to inform them that I have concealed $20,000 in the upholstery of my horsehair sofa.
My gosh, $20,000.
If this letter is never found, it won't matter much, because no McGee could ever be trusted with more than $3 at a time. Signed Jefferson McGee, August 13th, 1867.
Why, that dirty old $20,000. And who knows where that old sofa is now?
You know, that's funny. I wrote a note just a day or so ago about a horsehair sofa.
What? You did? Where? Oh, my gosh, Molly. Maybe we can find it. What'd you write? What is it? Where?
On yourself. I'm thinking now. Let me see. Where did I think I had it in the desk downstairs.
Well, what are we waiting for? Come on, hurry up now.
Here, quit pushing me.
You go through that desk with a fine tooth comb, Molly. If we can only trace that horsehair sofa, we'll be rich.
I'm a McGee, but I'm not sure what it said about a sofa. Maybe it wasn't even the same sofa.
Oh, you think the McGees ever had two horsehair sofas? No, sir. We were strictly a one-horse family. Come on, Molly, get busy.
Stop nudging me. I'm looking here. Now, let me see.
Oh, that. Come in.
Oh, hello, Mr. Mayor.
Good day, Mr. McGee. Hello, McGee. You look excited.
I am excited, Mr. Trivia. I'm an heiress. I just committed $20,000 from my granduncle Jefferson.
No, you haven't, McGee. First, I have to find that note I wrote, and then we have to locate the sofa, if it's the same one, and then we have to see if the money is still in it.
Good heavens, what is this all about? Why did he leave the money on a sofa?
Because he knew a McGee would spend most of his life lying down, Mr. Mayor.
He never knew any such a thing, Mr. Trivia. He wanted it to be discovered by a McGee with initiative, with brains, ingenuity, and enough interest in him to read the letters he left behind him, which I did.
Which you did nothing of the kind. You refused to read it.
Well, could I help it if I had tears in my eyes? Poor old granduncle Jeff.
You realize, I hope, McGee, that the possession of wealth entails certain responsibilities?
Yes, you've got to live up to it, McGee.
I know.
Now, when a panhandler asks you for a cup of coffee, don't just give him a dime. Go with him and see where he gets it and get me some.
First thing I'm going to do is endow the Elks Club.
Oh, my.
Going to stake them to a new deck of cards. That tack they're using now are so worn the kibitzers can't read them over your shoulder anymore. They have to sit in your lap.
That isn't what I was referring to, McGee. I meant that riches bring obligations to the possessor. You must set an example to those who are not so well off. Help the underdog.
Oh, he loves dogs, don't you, dear?
I'll say I do. I'm going to get me a nice Irish setter pup.
I didn't mean real dogs, McGee. I was
Well, how
referring...
can you help a dog if he isn't real, Mr. Mayor?
I was referring to people, Mrs. McGee.
Oh, so you think people are dogs, do you, Latrivia? A fine altitude.
I didn't say people were dogs. I merely said that I, as a leader of the people...
Oh, now calm yourself, Mr. Mayor. We can't have the leader of the people turning purple.
I am not turning people. I mean purple. I started to say that as a person, I thought...
He's got the pip.
I've got the pip. I have not! I was trying to say that if a person wants to be a popular, he'll probably... Excuse me if I go out on the porch. I think I have a flea.
You know, Molly, on second thought, I won't buy that Irish setter Latrivia was trying to sell me. I'd rather have a good Springer. A Springer is
You
a...
can't buy a hot dog till you find that money, McGee.
Oh, I'll find it, and that dough is rightfully mine, too. That horsehair sofa was in our house in Peoria for years.
And what became of it?
I don't know. Kids divided up the furniture. I remember all I got was a lot of old pictures. Must have been 50 of them. I threw them away. Too old-fashioned.
Who painted it?
Oh, a couple of amateurs named Currier and Ives or something like that. Corny stuff.
I see. So you threw away 50 Currier and Ives prints?
Yeah, but I was no fool. I saved the frames. Kept us in kindling wood for months. Hey, you better get busy and find that note you wrote.
Yes, I wish I could remember just what I... Now, let me see now. Horsehair sofa, horsehair sofa.
Hello, folks. Am I intruding?
Oh, not a bit, Mr. Wilcox. Come right in.
Hi, Wilcox. Don't worry about tracking snow in here. We're moving very shortly.
Moving? Where to?
Don't look at me, Mr. Wilcox. It isn't my idea.
We'll probably take a penthouse in New York, Wilcox, for the winter season anyway. Possibly a few months at Virginia Hot Springs. Then we may summer in the White Mountains or Lake Louise. I hope you can visit us for a weekend, old fellow. Get in some golf, you know.
Pardon me for pointing, but do you feel all right?
Well, he's a bit seasick, Mr. Wilkins. His dreamboat is a little rocky.
Oh, come, Mrs. McGee. Let us maintain our dignity. In our juxtaposition, we must not descend to bandying words with the tradesmen.
That's you, Mr. Wilcox. You're the tradesman. Take it from there.
Hey, what goes on here anyway? Don't give me that Park Avenue piccalilli, Fibber. I knew you when you thought a country club was a hole.
Tut, now, none of your impudence, my good man, or I shall have to report to you to your superiors, the Henderson Mott Company of Sheboygan, I believe.
S.C. Johnson & Son Incorporated, McGee, of Racine, Wisconsin.
Oh, yes. Make a note of that, Mrs. McGee. Report of insolent employee.
Hey, what is this? You know darn well who we work for, and you know they make self-polishing glow coat to protect your floor polish that shines as it dries.
I believe I have heard some.
Oh, you've heard it plenty, brother, and you'll hear it some more. You'll keep on hearing that Johnson self-polishing glow coat protects and preserves linoleum against dust and dampness. And that it saves hours of housework because it eliminates old-fashioned floor scrubbing. And you'll hear that...
Say, old man, is it quite necessary to be so beastly raucous?
Oh, so now I'm raucous. I'm an insolent, raucous tradesman, am I? Well, I don't know what this is all about, but something tells me there's going to be a new face around here. Wonder what Ed Wynn is doing now.
Didn't you overdo that, little McGee? After all, you're not rich yet.
Ah, but I soon will be. That $20,000 is just as good as in my pocket right this minute.
Look, dearie, whoever that is at the door, let's not say a thing about the $20,000.
Okay, maybe the less we say about it, the better. Come in.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Uppington.
How do you do, Mr. McGee? And Mr. McGee?
Hi, Uppy. Beautiful day, ain't it?
Definitely not, Miss McGee. Horrible. The snow has drifted clear up to...
Your clavicle, Uppy? No, that can't be right because your clavicle is your collarbone.
You'll have to excuse him, Abigail. Clavicle is the only bone he knows the name of.
I understand, Mrs. McGee. Anyway, I was merely going to say that the snow was way up past my spare tire.
Well, keep walking in the snow and you'll lose that.
So the snow is really pretty deep, is it, Abigail?
Oh, it's dreadful, my dear. But I felt that I should come over to ask you to return my snow shovel. My husband informs me that Mr. McGee has had it since last winter.
Why, sure. Tell him to come and get it any time, Uppy. Of course, he'll have to sign for it in triplicate. When I borrow things, I do it systematically.
You know, you look like you enjoyed being out in this weather, Abigail.
Oh, I don't really mind it, my dear. I'm a trooper, you know. And as an actress who has traveled from coast to coast...
Incidentally, Uppy, did you know the Cherry Sisters?
Oh, they were my dearest... No, of course not. That was much before my time. Though my father probably knew them. He was connected with the stage for many years.
He was?
Oh, sure he was, Molly. He drove it between here and the county seat till the railroad come through.
And who, may I ask, told you that?
Oh, I heard.
Well, what's the matter, Abigail? Are you cold? You're shivering.
No, Mr. McGee, I am not cold. I was being shaken by the conflict between my patriotism and my impulses.
What you mean, Uppy?
I mean, Mr. McGee, that in spite of this being a meatless day, I was sorely tempted to give you a few chops with the handle of my umbrella. Oh, goodbye.
The King's Men sing Abraham.
Upon a February morn, a little baby boy was born. 'Twasn't Henry, 'twasn't Sam, 'twas Abraham, right? He grew up this little babe, folks all called him Honest Abe. Folks from Maine to Alabama loved Abraham. In 1860 he became the 16th president, and now he's in the Hall of Fame, a most respected gent. That is why we celebrate this blessed February day. Abraham, honest Abraham. The USA, United sang to one whose name was Nancy Hang. Abraham, oh, Abraham. He gave this land the finest son who ever went to Washington. Abraham, oh, Abraham. The country's going to the dawn, they shouted loud and long. Then from a cabin built of log, the white man came along. And that is why we celebrate this blessed step through every day. Abraham, Abraham, thank the Lord for Abraham, Abraham.
Let me see now. 20,000 divided by, with a surtax of 4% on top of the secondary bracket. That'll be 16,700 minus the accrued interest and investment plus depreciation. Oh my gosh. Hey, Molly.
Yes,
You know what my income tax on that 20,000 bucks is going to be?
What?
$74,672.09. I'm going to be worse off than I was before. I wish you could find that note. Come in.
Hello, Mrs. McGee. Hello, Mr. McGee.
Oh, hello, Mr. Whipple. Terrible weather, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know, Mrs. McGee. I really don't mind the snow. I find it rather inspiring.
Me too, Imp. It inspires me to stay inside with my slippers on.
I think he means poetically, dearie. Don't you, Mr. Wimple?
Yes, Mrs. McGee. I love to sit in the park on a snowy day and feed the squirrels and think up poems.
Have you batted out any beautiful ballads of late, Imp?
I just wrote one this afternoon, Mr. McGee. I call it To My Dear Wife.
How sweet. Must be wonderful to have a husband who writes poetry to you.
What do you mean it must be? I used to write poetry to you.
I know, dearie, but that was Freebird.
Oh, did Mr. McGee write free verse, Mrs. McGee?
Yes, he took it freely from Longfellow, Byron, and Burns.
Well, he was a great poet, that Byron. I still think he should have been president.
Oh, he couldn't have been, Mr. McGee. He was an Englishman.
What are you talking about? Williams Jennings Byron was an Englishman? Go on, Wimp.
Skip it, McGee. I want to hear Mr. Wimple's poem, To His Dear Wife. How does it go, Mr. Wimple?
Oh, just a simple little thing, Mr. It goes, To my dear wife. I wish I was a little squirrel.
Well, that wish is granted, Wimp. We got two more coming.
Quiet, McGee. Go on, Mr. Wimple.
I wish I was a little squirrel, frisking in a tree so early, chattering down at passerbys and throwing pigs down in their eyes, scampering gaily here and there, leaping gracefully through the air, storing food up 3 whole seasons to last through winter and other reasons. Every one of which I often do, so when I climb down to dig up food and bring back breakfast to my wife so soon, I can say, "Here's sweetheart, nuts to you."
Why, that's very good,
How's
Wimp.
your wife like it, Mr. Wimple?
See, you say? Oh, I haven't shown it to her, Mrs. McGee. Besides, she isn't much for modern poetry. She likes limericks.
Ever write her any limericks, Wimp?
Oh, I started to once. I wrote, "There once was a woman named Sweetie Face, whose figure had many a meaty place."
Well?
Yes, I am now. But I was laid up for weeks and weeks by the time.
Well, McGee, I'm going to take one more look through that desk and see if I can't find that note I wrote.
Well, if that fails, I'm going to wire all my relatives and see what become of that horsehair sofa.
Might be a good idea. Maybe they'll... McGee, here it is. I found it.
Oh, what does it say? What does it say? What does it say?
Oh, shut it off. Shut it off. Stop shaking my arm.
Huh?
Listen.
Yeah?
It says, how about new slipcover for a horsehair sofa?
Yeah, but what does that mean? I don't
It
see
means this is that horsehair sofa right here. All right, a silly one. Remember, I made this slipcover 4 years ago.
Oh.
This is the sofa that was sent from Pure.
Oh, my gosh. You mean I'm sitting right on top of 20,000 bucks? Give me my jacket. Quick.
I'll put one to pieces. Take it apart carefully, and then we can...
Carefully, my flat. I gotta know quick. I'll show old Uncle Jeffy.
Stop. Here it is, look.
Yeah,
Look at that stack of dough.
Oh, Mama, we're rich. Hey, Molly, we're rich. Here, take a handful. Take 2 handfuls. Hot diggity. Tonight we go out and paint the town red. Tonight we celebrate. Ah, good old Uncle Jeff. What's the matter, please? Is there something wrong?
Where was your grand-uncle Jefferson from?
Richmond, Virginia. Why?
Nothing. Except this is Confederate money.
What? Why, that's dirty, sour.
Right this minute, in thousands of closets and attics across the country are leather suitcases and handbags and other luggage that all mean the same thing, a coat of wax. Have you tried putting a coat of Johnson's wax on a suitcase recently? Then you'll know what I mean. Remember how the leather seemed to take on new life, resilience, as well as better appearance? Yes, the wax does protect the leather and helps keep it from drying out. In fact, most leather objects benefit by an occasional waxing with Johnson's paste or liquid wax. Boots and shoes, for example, book covers, briefcases, straps, belts, and purses. And by the way, when you're through using the bottle or can of Johnson's wax, don't forget to put the lid back on tightly. That will prevent evaporation and help keep the wax in best condition.
Molly, I don't regret losing that $20,000.
No?
What could I have done with it? Buy clothes, they go out of style. Buy diamonds, they get stolen. Buy a yacht, it sinks. What good would it be?
For $20,000, you can buy a wonderful steak.
What kind of a steak would be worth $20,000?
A steak in our country, McGee. War buck.
Oh, yes. Good night.
Good night, all.
The part of Wallace Wimple heard on this program was played by Bill Thompson. This is Marla Wilcox speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax Finishes for the home and industry. We invite you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night. This program has reached you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company. The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. The show opens with Who Knows? Last night, I was reading an interesting article about how those famous paintings in the Louvre art galleries, like the Mona Lisa, were moved out of Paris ahead of the Germans. The thing that interested me most was how carefully those treasures were wrapped for their protection. And, of course, I thought immediately about how, in our own home, we wrap many things for protection. Wrap them in a coat of wax. Now, does that seem like a new idea to you? Actually, that's what you do when you protect your dining room table, your piano, windowsills, or your floors with genuine Johnson's Wax. You cover them with a protective shield of wax, a coat of wax that guards them against dirt and wear, against scratches and fingerprints. In these days when we all have to take better care of our things, isn't it fortunate that we can do that inexpensively with Johnson's Wax, which also saves work and makes floors, furniture, and woodwork gleam with mellow beauty. Early to bed and early to rise may be all right for those copybook guys. But when winter hits zero, it isn't so jolly. As witness what happened with Fibber and Molly.
McGee, wake up. McGee, wake up.
What? What's the matter?
Nothing's the matter. It's time to get up, dearie.
Huh?
I say it's time to get up. Come on.
It can't be. It's still dark. Can't see a thing.
You could if you'd open your eyes.
Huh? Oh!
Come on now. I've had my shower and I'm all dressed and I got the coffee on. Now hurry.
Can't I go back to sleep just long enough to finish a dream I just started? Gee, I can't leave 5 brand new white sidewall tires just laying there.
Where?
In my dream.
Don't worry about them. You can go to bed early tonight and pick them up there.
Yeah, but suppose somebody else dreams about them and gets there before I do. I'll never get there.
Now, McGee, quit stalling. Get up and wash your face and brush your teeth and come down in your bathrobe. Here's your slippers.
Oh, Mommy, it's too cold.
Well, maybe it is.
Yeah.
You know, I keep forgetting you're not as young as you used to be.
Yeah.
You just stay in bed and build up your strength.
Well, gee whiz, I don't...
Yes. Mother won't bother the tired old man anymore. You just go on back to sleep, and maybe this evening you can totter downstairs for a few minutes. I've got to go and get my coffee off the stove before it boils over.
Oh, so I'm a tired old man, am I? Just because I like to get 40 winks of sleep. I ain't as young as I used to was, am I? I'll show 'em. Wow. This floor is cold as the keel of a tide. Where's my slippers? Oh, here. I'll get some hot music on the radio to warm it up.
And now, my little slug of air, through the country of Fruitwell's marvelous mixture for mumps, measles, and migraines,
I feel like I had all of them.
we bring you your morning setting up exercises.
That's an idea. That'll warm me up.
Are you a man or a mouse? Are your muscles flabby? Is your tummy sitting on your lap? Remember, you can't get gasoline if you have an extra spare tire. All ready now, my little lazy bones. Put your hands on your hips.
I'd like to put mine around his throat.
Now, none of that.
Okay.
Now, on the count, up on tiptoe with the hands up to shoulder height, then resume position. Ready? 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Very, very good. Now, hands above head. Raise the right leg slowly. That's it. Way up. Now, hold that leg up in the air. Now, raise the other leg.
Hey, Dad, Rabbit, you can't do that.
Well, then let's try something easier. Roll over on your back. That's it. Now, make with the tootsies like riding a bicycle. Fine. Now, faster. Faster. Now, let's go.
McGee, what on earth are you doing?
Riding a bicycle.
Well, wake up. You're still dreaming.
Huh?
Didn't you hear me call you for breakfast?
I'm just taking my setting up exercises. I always feel better when I exercise in the morning.
And when did you ever exercise in the morning or any other time?
Well, it's time I did. I'm going to do it every day. I'm going to go on a diet, too, and take long walks. Why, I'm getting a bay window that 10 people could watch a parade from.
I noticed you were buzzing a bit in the belt buckle, but you'll have to make your old body do now till after breakfast. Run in, brush your teeth while I straighten up here.
Okay, I'll be right out.
Oh, dear, what a man. If I'd known what a circus life would be with him, I'd have made him marry me with a 3-ring ceremony.
Okay, Molly, I'm ready.
Say, you can get washed up quicker than a German general.
And look, no bacon, no butter for me for breakfast, and no cream and sugar. Just orange juice and black coffee.
Okay, dearie. I hope it won't bother you, though, when I eat my buckwheat cake.
Not a bit. I'll just... Huh? Buckwheat cakes? Oh, buckwheat cakes ain't particularly fattening, are they?
Terribly.
Even if you only eat 7 or 8?
Now, listen. You stick to your orange juice and coffee, dearie. Anyway, you always hide behind the morning paper, so you'll never notice what I eat in that way, you see. Oh, I wonder who that is.
Hey, we can't answer the door with me in my pajamas and bathrobe. Oh, we will, too. Probably just a salesman. You can tell him I got smallpox. Come in.
Oh, for goodness sake, Abigail Leffington.
Oh, how do you do, my dear? And Mr. McGee.
Hi, Effie.
You'll have to excuse McGee's informality, Abigail. He just didn't feel like dressing for breakfast.
Oh, that's quite all right, my dear. My, that's quite a loud bathrobe, isn't it, Mr. McGee?
Well, so what, Abigail? He doesn't put it on till he's awake.
Well, I was referring to the pattern, then, my dear. Poppies, isn't it?
Of course it's poppies. Mommy has a pale blue one with roses on it. Don't you get it, Molly? She says it is poppies, and I says, yes, Mommy has a
Ain't
pale...
funny, McGee.
No. I thought I was really in the groove with that one.
That's not a groove, that's a rut.
Were you on your way downtown, Abigail?
Oh, yes, my dear, but I simply had to stop and tell you about last night. I was a hostess at the canteen, and I danced with some of the most charming soldiers.
Now I know what they mean by bravery beyond the call of duty.
Did you meet some nice officers, Abigail?
Oh, my dear. I danced several dances with a British lad, a member of Parliament, no less.
Oh, heavenly day.
How do you know he was a member of Parliament, Duffy?
He told me.
Huh?
And he showed me the insignia right on his arm. MP in big white letters.
Oh, yes. MT.
Yes, I really had a lovely time, my dear. Oh, dear boys. Most of them wanted to Twitter jog, you know.
Jitterbug, you mean?
Oh, is that what it is? Well, anyway, it was great fun, really. Although I might have had a nasty fall if it had not been for the handsome young Marine I was dancing with.
He grabbed you in time, Uppy?
No, we both fell, Miss McGee. But fortunately, he cushioned my fall.
Oh, lucky, Abigail.
Yes, that's exactly what I said. And he said, no, madam, it was not luck. The Marines are always the first to land.
Boy, were those buckwheat cakes good.
Sure you won't have another, McGee? There's still a little batter left.
I don't think I could, Molly. Already had 14.
Anything else you want?
Just my orange juice and black coffee. I'll probably bust, but if I'm going to start that diet, I might as well do it now. And let the dishes go for a while, Molly, and come on in the other room. I want you to oversee my exercises.
Overlook would probably be a better word. But all right. This is going to be very interesting.
Now, you sit in that chair there and watch.
Okay.
And any time you see me getting too big in the shoulders or anywhere, you stop it. I don't want to get overdeveloped.
You're very broad-shouldered in the hips right now, Dave. Those 14 buckwheat cakes didn't harden your stomach up any.
Oh, yes, they did. I feel like I was full of lead.
Could be. I've heard rumors to that effect. What exercises? Oh.
Come in.
Oh, Mr. Wimple.
Hello, Mrs. McGee. Hello, Miss Tina.
Hi, Wimp, old onion. Pardon my pajamas and bathrobe, but I always wear something loose when I'm in training.
Oh, that's all right, Mr. McGee. I always slip into some trunks myself when Sweetie Face wants to work out.
Oh. Are trunks comfortable, Mr. Wimple?
Not always, Mrs. McGee. Once Sweetie Face caught me when I was slipping into one and slammed the lid on my head.
Well, that was tough, Wimp.
Oh, it was my own fault, Mr. McGee. I forgot to take the top tray out. But what are you training for?
Oh, he's just building himself up generally, Mr. Wimple. He was getting so pudgy it exhausted him to climb up a short flight of fancy.
Oh, I don't know. I'm still in pretty good shape. I ever tell you about when I was just a kid, I used to pull an automobile with my feet?
My goodness, Mr. McGee. That isn't what you told me once.
What did he tell you, Mr. Wimple?
He told me his father used to pull his teeth with an automobile. He said they'd tie a string to his tooth.
Okay. Anyway, I was a mighty strong youngster. You should have seen me in the gymnasium. Used to skip rope by the hour.
I wish you'd skipped some of those you've been smoking lately.
What did you say you were in training for, Mr. McGee?
Just getting into condition, Mr. Wimple.
Yeah, I kind of let myself run down. Getting kind of short-winded.
You're just modest, Mr. McGee. You're one of the longest-winded people I know.
Really, Wimp? That ain't just hero worship.
Oh, no. You know what I'm going to do for you, Mr. McGee?
What?
I'm going to ask Sweetie Face to drop over and help you exercise.
Oh.
My goodness. She'll have you built up in no time.
Oh, my goodness, Mr. Wimple, I don't...
Now, wait a minute, Wimp. Let's not make any snap
And
decisions.
you'll be doing both Sweetie Face and me a great favor.
How, Mr. Wimple?
But if you don't let her come over, she'll be all broken up. And so will I, if you know what I mean. I'll tell her to come right away.
Hey, Wimp, don't do that. Don't. Oh, my gosh. Now I am in a jam. If that corset-covered commando ever gets her hands on me... Oh, gee, well, what will I do, Mom?
Maybe you better leave town a few days, dearie.
That wouldn't do any good. She'd find me. She flies by night on a broomstick.
Well, if she comes to the door, I'll tell her you're ill.
You ain't kidding either. I am ill. The very thought of that gorilla in a girdle tossing me around is enough to make my...
Hello, folks. How's everybody? Why, what's the matter, Fibber? You sick?
Well, he thought you were Sweetie Face Wimple coming in, Mr. Wilcox.
Wilcox, even that cookie duster on your upper lip, you ain't Ronald Coleman, but you never look more beautiful to me than you do with that upper duster on your lip. You're a sight for the sore eyes I would have had if you'd have been Sweetie Face.
What's all this Sweetie Face business? Why are you so scared of her?
Well, Mr. Wimple said he was sending her over here to start training with McGee, and he's scared to death.
Oh, Mrs. Wimple isn't so bad.
She isn't?
No, I got along with her very nicely. You did? Sure. I was demonstrating some Johnson self-polishing glow coat to her.
Oh, do you have to bring that in every week, Wilcox?
Why not? That brings you in every week.
He's got you,
Okay, but how about Sweetie Face, Wilcox?
Well, I was showing her how glow coat would bring out the color and beauty of her kitchen linoleum.
Yes.
And she said she didn't care so much about the beauty of it, but her husband kept scuffing it up with his feet as she dragged him around. And I told her glow coat would protect it against scuffing because it gave a protective wax finish to
Well,
it.
our linoleum has glow coat on it too, McGee, so if she drags you around, don't worry about it.
Oh, please, Marty. I'm nervous enough now. Go on, Junior.
Well, then I showed her how all you had to do was pour out a little glow coat, spread it around, let it dry, and in 20 minutes or less it dried to a grand dust and damp-proof finish. Oh, she loved it. She was so pleased she slapped me on the back as I went through the door. Lucky me.
Why, lucky you.
Lucky I was facing the door, otherwise I'd have gone through the wall. Well, happy exercises, pal. Don't take any wooden knuckles.
Imagine that wooden knuckle. If he is...
Look, McGee, why don't you call Mrs. Wimple and tell her you've been suddenly called out of town?
No.
Tell her the Boy Scouts have reclassified you and you're being examined for a merit badge in zipper string. Why don't you tell her anything?
Okay, give me the phone.
Here.
Thanks. Gee, I hope I can talk. Hello, operator. Give me the residence of Wallace Wimple. Oh, is that you, Mert? How's every little thing, Mert? Is, eh? What's that, Mert? Your brother. He is, eh? That sure is a switch, ain't it, Mert? Well, I'm glad they got him straightened out. Hey, Molly, Mert's brother is a lieutenant now. Got a bar on his shoulder.
Well, what's the switch?
He always used to have his shoulder on a bar. What's that, Mert? Oh, you got my number. She's ringing Wimple's phone, Molly.
Oh, good. Now be diplomatic, dearie. Maybe she won't be so bad.
Hello, is this Sweetie... is this Mrs. Wimple? Well, this is Mr. McGee, and I...
Oh, McGee! McGee, darling, are you hurt? Get out there and tell me what happened. Oh.
Oh, what a woman. Hang that receiver up, Molly. I ain't ever talking to that dame anymore.
Well, heavenly days, what did she say that would knock you clear across the room?
Wasn't so much what she said as the way she must have said it. Boy, if that's the effect she has over the phone, I hope I never... Oh, my gosh. Hide me, Molly. That's her. Get
Oh, now, don't be silly, McGee. She couldn't get here in 30 seconds. You go see who it is while I go make you some tea. Why, you're shaking like a leaf.
I'll say I am. Hey, get me some good-looking shorts for Christmas, Molly. It's getting so every little thing scares the pants off me. Come in.
Hi, mister.
Oh, hello, sis. Now, look, I'm in no state of mind to stand here and punch the bag with you. So state your business briefly and go fly your hoop. I mean, roll your kite. I mean, scram.
Okay, mister. I won't bother you but just a minute, I betcha.
I bet you won't either, I bet you. Because I'm just in the mood to take you by one pigtail and one legging and fling you into a snowbank.
Oh, gee, that'll be fun. Let's do it, shall we?
If it's fun, I refuse. What you want, sis?
Oh, I'm selling chances, mister, on a pinch board.
You mean a punch board? How much are the chances?
50 cents.
50 cents? Ouch.
You see, that's the pinch.
4 bits a jab is a pretty stiff gimmick, sis. Isn't there any ceiling price on punch boards?
What is a ceiling price, mister? What is it?
A ceiling price, sis, is a price that the government don't want people to pay any more than, or merchants to charge any more than, on account of they want to stabilize prices to keep down the cost of living, so as to control the post-war economic situation with a greater degree of success. I says ceiling... Oh, never mind. And why bother me with your punch board? Why don't you do what I always did when I was a kid? Sell everything to your own family.
Yeah, I can't do that, mister. My mama's rolling bandages down to the Red Cross and my daddy is out of town.
Oh.
I'm practically an orphan, I guess.
Orphan, sis. I says it's orphan.
No, it isn't. Not very orphan. Only when daddy goes out of town.
Never mind. Now take your little punch board and scram out of here before
Oh, gee, mister. Don't you want to take a chance on a turkey?
No, I don't want... On a turkey? Well, why didn't you say so? We haven't ordered ours yet. Will I know right away if I win?
Sure you will, I betcha. The winning number is 100, and nobody's got it yet.
Well, they haven't, eh? How many punches you got left on the board?
6.
Wait, now, let me figure that out there. 6 punches at 4 bits a throw, $3. Can't buy a turkey for much less than 5. Shucks, I can't lose. Okay, sis, I'll buy the rest of the board. Here's $3.
Oh, gee, thanks, mister. And here's your prize.
Well, I never expected it. Hey, what do you mean, prize? This is just a ticket to your school play.
I'm not.
I thought this was for a turkey.
Mister, if it's anything like the one we had last year, it's going to be the biggest turkey you ever saw.
The King's Men sing by the light of the silvery moon.
Place, park, scene, dark, silvery moon is shining through the trees. Pass to me, you, sound of kisses floating on the breeze. Act 1 begun. Then some dialogue. Where would you like to spoon my cue with you underneath the silvery moon? By the light of the silvery moon, by the silvery moon, I want to spoon to my honey I'll croon love's tune. Honeymoon, 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 keep a shining in June, keep a shining in June. Your silvery beams will bring love's dream. We'll be cuddling soon. We'll be cuddling soon by the silvery moon. By the silvery moon. By the light, sweet, bright, sweet light of the shimmering moon, moon, moon. I want to spoon, I want to croon to my honey, 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 a tune. Keep on, keep on, keep on a shining in June. Silvery beams will bring us beautiful dreams. We'll be cuddling soon. By the light of the silvery moon.
Did you lock the front door?
No, why should I?
Well, my gosh, if that sweetie-faced wimple comes over here, she's just the type to barge right in. And I say barge advisedly. If she ain't a female flatboat, I never...
McGee, just because she blasted you on the telephone is no reason she's coming over here and do it personally.
I know, but
Anyway, what if she does? You wanted some exercise. You wanted to start training, didn't you?
Yeah, but not with that flying tiger. The very thought of it makes my blood stand on end.
Oh, I think you're just worrying about...
Oh, my gosh, there she is. I'll run upstairs and hide in the linen closet. If she comes up, I'll be white on the seat anyway. She'll never...
Control yourself, dearie. It's only merely trivia.
You sure?
Sure, I'm sure. I just peeked out. Now, calm down. Come in.
Oh, Latrivia. Hi, Latrivia.
Good day, McGee. Hello, Mrs. McGee.
Hello, Mr. Mayor. Nice to see you.
Thank you. But what's the matter with you, McGee?
Does there have to be something the matter with a guy if he wants to be comfortable in a bathrobe?
If he could be comfortable in that bathrobe, yes. What an atrocious pattern. Did I say something?
Well, it's nothing, Mr. Mayor. I'm sorry you don't like the bathrobe. I gave it to McGee for his birthday.
Bought it out of the egg money, too.
What I meant when I said the pattern was atrocious was not that the pattern itself was atrocious. I meant that with such a they should have put better tailoring in it. Yes, that's what I meant. Did I?
Molly bought that material and made it herself, Latrivia. Sat up nights for weeks doing it.
Now, McGee, I really didn't do a very good job after all.
My dear Mrs. McGee, you did a perfectly amazing job. And those elbow-length sleeves are a very smart job. Very. Personally, I despise full-length sleeves on a bathrobe. Old-fashioned. I might even say corny. Yes, I will say corny. Corny. Now, what may I ask?
These are full-length sleeves. I got them rolled up.
Maybe they are corny, dearie. I didn't realize.
Oh, I didn't mean those sleeves, Mrs. McGee. For that bathrobe, those sleeves are perfect. What I meant was that if the material, the pattern of the material, that is, the tailoring couldn't help the, if the sleeves, good heavens, is that clock right? I must be dashing along. Good day.
Well, I never saw a man turn so red in my life, McGee. He must have Indian blood.
If he ever found out I won this bathrobe for 60 cents at the Elks Carnival throwing balls at milk bottles, he'd tear a ligament. One of my ligaments, probably.
And when you said I bought it out of the egg money,
Oh, sweetie face, that's her. I'll run upstairs. Tell her I changed my mind about the exercises. Tell her it's against the doctor's orders. Tell her he says I got a leaky clavicle or something. Tell her I don't...
McGee, quit leaping around. This isn't her either.
Huh?
It's Mr. Wimple again.
Oh.
Come in.
Oh, Mr. McGee, I'm so sorry. I'm afraid I've upset all your plans.
What you mean, Wink?
Sweetie Face won't be able to come and help you exercise.
Oh, too bad.
Oh, let me sit down. This just kind of breaks me all up, Wimp. What happened?
Oh, I no sooner got home than somebody called Sweetie Face up on the telephone, and it almost killed her.
Almost killed her.
Yes. You see, she was sitting in the bathtub taking a bath when I handed the telephone into her.
No wonder I got slammed across the room. Didn't you know any better than to hand a person a telephone while they're sitting in a bathtub, Wimp?
Oh, my goodness, Mr. McGee. I took the precaution of wetting the cord first.
Oh, heavenly days, Mr. Wimple, that's the worst thing you could do. You might have electrocuted her.
Yeah.
Collecting metal for salvage has made all of us realize that we should take better care of any things we have that are made of metal. Things like iron pipes should be painted to keep them from rusting. But for objects made with chromium or polished metals, there's an easier way. You can protect them with regular applications of genuine Johnson's wax. Wax your chromium towel bars and bathroom and kitchen fixtures. Also, chromium chairs or tables, if you have any. Use the same Johnson's wax with which you protect your floors, furniture, and woodwork. And use it the same way. The wax forms a protective shield, guards the chromium against the corrosive action of weather and fingerprints, also minor scratches. Especially now, when conservation is so important, protect all chromium surfaces in your home with genuine Johnson's wax.
I'm going to do, Molly? Starting from right now, I'm really going on a strict routine.
Yes?
Jump into an icy shower, do a block of setting up exercises, take a brisk walk around the block, do a little shadow boxing before lunch. After lunch, I'll play an hour of fast tennis, then I'll zip through a snappy game of handball, and after that, I'll go to the gym and work out. Well, I'll see you later, Molly.
Where are you going now?
Going back to bed. Good night.
Winkle, heard on this program, was played by Bill Thompson. This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax Finishes for home and industry. We invite you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night. This program has reached you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company. The Johnson Wax program with Fibber McGee and Molly. Makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. The show opens with Hallelujah. At a friend's house last night, I sat alongside the window and couldn't help noticing that the windowsills had been waxed and were shining. I looked around the room, and I'll bet I saw 10 other places that had been waxed. Picture frames, Venetian blinds, lampshades, ornaments, even the bricks around the fireplace. Of course, the floors and woodwork were waxed, and the furniture, too. I couldn't help thinking how much genuine Johnson's Wax is helping all of us in this critical time to take better care of things we have. And because germ-laden dirt won't readily adhere to a waxed surface, it's helping to keep homes more sanitary and thereby helping folks guard their health. There are 3 forms of genuine Johnson's Wax: paste, liquid, and cream wax.
Someone in a helicopter knocked all
Well, mileage rationing has just come to Wistful Vista. And in spite of it being a meatless day, get a load of the beef being put up by an average citizen as we meet Fibber McGee and Molly.
I tell you, it ain't fair, Molly. They can't do this to me. 4 gallons a week. Why, that's ridiculous.
I think so, too.
You do?
Yes, you don't need 4 gallons.
Doggone it, I do, too. 4 gallons is outrageous. Where can I go on 4 gallons of gas?
Where do you want to go, dearie?
Well, gee whiz, well, what if I did want to go someplace? In an emergency or something?
You mean like running out of cigars?
Yes. No! Running out of cigars ain't an emergency.
You never spoke a truer word, McGee.
Huh?
When I get a whiff of those poison panatellas of yours, I know why tobacco auctioneers talk that way.
What you mean?
Those fellas are hysterical.
Oh, forget my cigars. I'm talking about this mileage rationing. I think it's a dirty deal. The whole thing is silly. It's going to make everybody stay at home. Why, in 2 years, a guy from Indiana won't know what a guy from Kansas is talking about.
Where are you from?
Illinois.
That has happened already. I don't even know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about giving all the car owners a measly little medicine dropper full of gasoline. It's an infringement on private rights, that's what it is.
Look, dearie, look. The main reason they're rationing gasoline is to save tires. Don't you know that if we continue driving like we have been, a majority of automobiles will be off the road next year?
Good. There's too much traffic anyway. Too crowded. Get the cars off the road. That'll be fine. That's swell.
Well, I'm glad you feel that way, because yours will probably be one of them.
What? Me give up my car? Oh, no, you don't. I paid for my tires, and by the left hind leg of Leon Henderson, I got a right to... I'm going to write to my congressman this very minute.
Who is our congressman?
Why, it's old... I don't know. Who is he?
Oh, just send it to the congressman from this district.
Okay, that's exactly what I'll... What district is this?
Maybe you better write to our senator.
That's better yet. I'll tell him I'm not going to stand for senator. Who's our senator?
Look, dearie, our government has asked us to take less gasoline, so we'll drive less and save the country's rubber. And if you haven't got enough interest in the government to know who your representatives are, you haven't got any right to stand around and stomachache.
Not stomachache, the word is...
I know what the word is.
Well, gee whiz, the idea of giving an important citizen like me just a AA book. Save rubber of my classical. What happened to that sympathetic rubber that inventor made out of milkweed? Or was it milky made out of a rubber plant? Anyway, why don't you...
Oh, that's probably Mr. Jeffers come to explain mileage rationing to you personally.
Well, he better talk fast. Come in, Jeffers.
Hello, folks. Say, are you busy?
Not a bit, Mr. Wilcox. Come right in.
All right, Junior, what you so excited about? Your rich uncle died and leave you a pound of coffee?
You mean you haven't heard about Mayor Latrivia?
Heavenly days, what happened to him?
He's joined the Coast Guard. Leaves tomorrow morning.
Oh!
Latrivia in the Coast Guard?
Yes, sir.
Why, I didn't think that guy could pass the physical for a crossing watchman. He must have pulled some wires.
He never pulled a wire. He simply went down and enlisted. Passed his examinations like a mice. Ah, great outfit, the Coast Guard.
You think so?
Think so. I know so. Do you realize the first boats ashore in the Solomons and North Africa were Coast Guard boats?
They were?
Yes, sir.
Hi, George Molly. I think I'll try to join it myself. I want to get out of here anyway. This mileage rationing has got me disgusted.
You know, he's been raving about it all day, Mr. Wilcox. He thinks the OPA is trying to make an APE out of him.
And they are, too. A citizen of my standing, trying to get along on a AA book. It's a lot of foolishness. I got business to take care of.
What business, pal?
Well, in the first place, gee whiz, I got responsibility.
Oh, he really has, Mr. Wilcox.
Yes.
You know, he's the sole support of 3 pinochle players at the Elks Club.
Fibber, you talk like a chump. Yes, mileage rationing is the only fair way to cut down non-essential driving. When the rubber this country has got is gone, it's gone. That's all there is. There isn't any more.
Well, then they should have foreseen that and took care of the situation.
Well, everybody can't be as far-sighted as you are, Dave.
Is he pretty far-sighted, Molly?
Why, he's uncanny, Mr. Wilcox. He's the one who said we'd lick the Japanese in 10 days, remember?
Well, shucks.
He's the one who said Germany would fold up from starvation last April.
Yeah, I know, but circumstances...
He's the one who said we'd never ship a soldier out of this country. I don't know how he does it. Though I will say he made one accurate prediction.
And what was that?
Well, last night he said, well, tomorrow is another day. And sure enough it was.
Oh, well, gee whiz.
Fibber, I'm just a little bit ashamed of you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. If you had the brains of a seahorse, you'd realize the spot this country is in regarding rubber.
I don't see what...
Why, England does almost no civilian driving. Canada has had mileage rationing for months. So's our eastern seaboard. And you stand there and squawk. You stand there and squawk, putting your petty little private life against the importance of winning this war. Get wise to yourself, son. Only a monkey could expect to do business as usual. We haven't got time for monkey business.
You know, Molly, maybe I was wrong.
Well, for goodness sakes, at last you begun to realize
As
it.
he says, only a monkey could... Hey, Was that guy calling me a monkey? Why, that impudent, just because I think I got a right to more than 4 gallons of gas. A guy am I standing in the community, forced to give up his important 4 gallons. Gallons of gas. Why, that's absurd. And I only get 12 miles to a gallon, 48 miles. A man in my position. If that ain't the
Stephanie Days, McGee, are you still moaning about only getting an A book?
Well, it burns me up. I'm going to call the racing board right now and read them the riot. Give me the phone.
Here.
Thanks. Hello, operator. Give me racing board 79J on the corner of... Oh, is that you, mate?
Now, this is the sort of thing that should be raised.
How's every little thing, Mert? What's that, Mert? Your brother. Got stung by a black widow.
Oh, goodness, McGee. Was it fatal?
No, he was just disappointed. Seems like he used to watch a couple of newlyweds necking in the house next door, and now they pulled the shade down.
Well, what's that got to do with a black widow?
Did I say widow? I meant window. What's that, Mert? Oh, no answer, eh? Well, never mind, Mert. I'll write him a nasty letter instead. They don't answer, Molly. I'll bet they know who was calling, and they're ashamed to answer.
That must be it, or else they're laughing so hard they can't talk.
Laughing at what?
You, sweetheart.
Huh?
The idea that you, one little citizen in 130 million, thinks he's so much more important than winning the war that...
I'm glad you got interrupted. I think I was going to be deeply hurt.
Yeah, I think so, too. Come in. Oh, Abigail Luffington. Hello, Abigail.
Oh, how do you do, my dear? And Mr. McGee.
Hi, Effie. Have a chair. Then tear off 3 coupons and we'll gas a while.
Thank you, no, Mr. McGee. I merely wish to ask you some mechanical advice.
Well, you come to the right guy, Effie. I'm a mechanical wizard. And don't let anybody kid you. You know who really invented the diesel engine?
Good heavens, not you.
No, a guy named Diesel.
So what?
Oh, I guess that shows I know something about engines. What's your trouble, Effie?
Well, Miss McGee, like most conscientious citizens, I wish to get the utmost mileage out of the gasoline allowed me while not exceeding 35 miles an hour.
Yeah?
So I wondered if it would help to maintain a lower speed if I drove with the emergency brake on.
Oh, my gosh, don't do that. Why, you'll wear out your brakes in no time, Effie. And besides, your engine will keep stopping.
Oh, yes, I noticed that, Mr. McGee. It stopped again as I drove up in front of your house just now.
That's what you did, Abigail. You killed your engine.
Good heavens. And it was such a good engine, too. Oh, well, I shall have my butler give it a decent burial in the backyard tonight. Perhaps a few flowers.
No. You don't have to bury it, Uppy. It'll come to life again. I'm glad you mentioned that mileage rationing. You know what they done to me, Uppy?
Oh, dear, here comes the moan of the mistreated motorist again.
They only gave me a book, Uppy, 4 gallons a week. It's an infringement on personal liberty. That's what it's an infringement on.
Taking McGee as an average citizen, Abigail, I bet you never realized how low the average was, did you?
Well, Mr. McGee, as usual, you are being stupidly self-centered. Any intelligent person knows that every extra unnecessary mile of wear on a single tire is practically sabotage. Do you think for one single minute that your drab little driving habits are of any importance whatsoever during times like these?
Well, Dad Ratted, I don't think...
That is obvious, Mr. McGee. Goodbye.
Well, you're not getting much support in your anti-rationing campaign, dearie. Everybody understands it but you.
How can I help it if I'm the only cool-headed, clear thinker in the lot? With me, it's the principle of the thing.
Well, you better put your principal in another bank. You're not getting any interest.
4 gallons of gas. If that isn't the worst injustice I ever heard of. And me that's used to driving 100 miles a week. Do you realize, Mrs. McGee, that just because of this, we're going to have bad stops this year?
Leave deeper footprints, dearie. I can't follow you.
Well, I'm telling you, there's going to be a crop shortage. And why? Too many rabbits. They eat the crops. And why too many rabbits? Because guys like me can't get enough gas to go hunting. It's preposterous.
Look, McGee, I'm tired of arguing about it. You're all wet and I haven't got time to keep drying you off. Now listen, just sit down and write a letter to Mr. Roosevelt. Pour your little heart out. Make him cry. Personally, I'm going out in the kitchen and make myself a cup of tea.
Write a letter to Roosevelt. That's not a bad idea, Dad. Let me see now. Dear Mr. President. That's too formal. Dear Chief. That's it. Dear Chief, I know you must be pretty busy these days, but I got a very important... Excuse me, Frank, there's somebody at the door. Come in.
Hi, mister.
Oh, go away, little girl. I'm in no mood to stand around and fiddle-faddle with you. I'm sore.
Where?
Well, in the driver's seat, if you must know. It's this mileage racing. That's what I'm sore about. Me only getting 4 gallons. Who do they think I am?
Hey, who do you think you are? My daddy only got that much, and he says he can make it too.
Well, your daddy... Say, I'd like to have a talk with him. Where is he, anyway?
He's out of town, mister. He's in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Oh, Grand Rapids, eh? Oh, I played there many times before.
You did?
The old Empress Theater. Ah, it's a great old church. Big furniture center. Been lots of big fortunes made there in furniture, sis.
I know, mister. Lumberjack, huh?
Look, sis, it was me that had the vaudeville act, not you. What's your daddy doing there?
He's an engineer, mister, and radio station WOOD there has got a new transmitter with more power, and he helped them install it, and they're going to desecrate it tonight.
You don't mean desecrate, you mean dedicate, sis.
I mean desecrate, mister. They carry your program.
As I said before, sis, I haven't got the patience today to stand here and dilly-dally with you. Next time you want to come over and bother me, don't come. Call me up.
It'll cost a nickel. You want to give me the nickel, mister?
No, I don't.
Cheapskate.
What was that? What did you say?
I don't know. I wasn't listening. And look, mister,
Yes?
if I were you, I bet I'd stop crabbing about mileage racing, I bet.
Oh, you would.
Sure. How do you think we can keep Doolittle over there if we don't keep doing more over here? So long, mister.
The King's Men sing, Yeah Man.
I feel the spirit, brother, can you feel how that spirit is moving? I feel the spirit, makes you want to jump, shout, laugh, and sing. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I feel that spirit moving. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Away down south in Tennessee, I used to sit on Pappy's knee. He said, son, as you go through life, trouble will stab you like a carving knife. Oh, 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 yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man, yeah, man. I feel got rhythm, you've got rhyme, so beat that rhythm and take your time. Clap your hands as you start to swing, open your throat and everybody sing. Oh, yeah, man, yeah, man, yeah, man, yeah, man. I feel that spirit moving, a two-faced woman has a jealous man. Started all the trouble since the world began. You can feel my chickens and my hound dog too. What trifles around us, my gal, get me into trouble with you. Yeah, man, yeah, man, yeah, man, yeah, man. I feel that spirit moving in the yeah, man, yeah, man. I feel the spirit moving, 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 yeah, yeah, man.
Gallons of gas. I don't know why they couldn't have given me more and trusted me not to drive too much. Shucks, I realize the rubber situation is bad. My God, 4 gallons for a man in my position.
McGee, I just decided what I was going to get you for Christmas.
Huh? You did? What?
A good bird dog.
Huh?
You've got the longest grousing season of anybody I know.
That's right in the same position. 4 gallons of... Come in.
Oh, heavenly days, Mayor Latrivia.
Good day, Mr. McGee. Hello, McGee.
Hi, Latrivia. Hey, what's this Wilcox was telling us about you joining the Coast Guard?
That's quite true, McGee. I leave tomorrow. I just dropped in to say goodbye.
Oh, well, we'll really miss you, Mr. Latrivia.
Wasn't joining the Coast Guard kind of sudden for you, Latrivia?
Oh, no. I've been trying to wind up my affairs for some time so I could do it, McGee. I'm very happy that I was accepted.
Have you had any experience with small boats, Mr. Mayor?
Oh, yes, Mrs. McGee. I've been through the tunnel of love at Coney Island.
You're just fooling now.
Yes, I am, Mr. McGee. Seriously, I'm rather an expert on small craft. I once had a little sloop on Long Island Sound.
What kind? Clam chowder?
McGee, he said sloop, not sloop.
What'd you go in as, Latrivia? Captain?
Certainly not. I'm an ordinary apprentice seaman to start with.
Why'd you ask, McGee?
Latrivia, if he spoke to me, I might have got him a commission. I know a certain guy who's got a cousin that knows the secretary of a very...
I don't want a commission, McGee, till I earn it.
Anyway, McGee, if you know such important people, why do you keep crabbing about only getting an A book?
Hey, I'm glad you brought that up, Molly. Now, look here, Latrivia. You're the mayor of this town. Anyway, for one more day, and I want to ask a favor. I want you to use your influence.
In what way, McGee?
You know what that racing board has done to me? Only gave me a book. 4 gallons a week. Now, that's ridiculous. A man of my importance in the community.
Oh, so you're one of the moaners and groaners. One of those asthmatic individuals who thinks the war is being fought only by soldiers and sailors and marines.
Well,
let me tell you it isn't. Everything you do in your daily life has some effect on our war program.
Oh, yeah, I suppose the way I comb my hair is important, too, huh?
Yes, it is. What's your comb made of? Rubber. That's a piece of rubber that didn't go into a tire. It was made when this country had plenty of rubber, and we haven't got plenty now. We're dangerously short of it. What we have got, we need for military purposes and essential transportation. You belong to a car pool?
No.
Are you engaged in any important war work, McGee?
No, I guess not. But gee whiz,
Then for heaven's sake, stop your griping. You're lucky you've got a car at all. Oh, excuse me, McGee. When I get over to Africa or Australia or wherever they send me, I'll be thinking of you, McGee, and the hardships you're suffering. Well, goodbye, Mr. McGee. I'll see you when this is over.
Goodbye, Mr. Mayor, and happy land.
Thank you. Goodbye, McGee.
Good luck, Latrivia. Don't take any wooden anchors.
I won't. And McGee, when you do drive, if you get up to 35 miles an hour, think of somebody who didn't get a rubber lifeboat. Goodbye.
Isn't he a nice man, McGee?
Yeah, Latrivia's all right. You know, Molly, maybe I've been wrong about this whole thing.
What?
Yes, sir. Maybe I can get along on 4 gallons all right.
Oh, no, McGee. A man of your importance in the...
A man of my importance ought to set an example to these guys that are crabbing about not getting enough gas. Why, when I think...
Well, we're doing a nice business, aren't we? Come in.
Hello, Mrs. McGee. Hello, Mr. McGee.
Oh, Hello, Mr. Wimple.
Hi, Wimp. What do you hear from the mob?
Please, Mr. McGee. That's no way to talk about Mrs. Wimple.
Oh, you didn't mean her, Mr. Wimple. That was just a variation of Hello, Joe, what do you know?
Oh. Well, I don't know much, folks. Did you go to the football game Saturday?
No, we didn't, Wimp. You a football fan?
Oh, indeed I am. It's about the only chance I get to shout insults at people bigger than me. I wrote a poem about football.
Oh, did you really, Mr. Wimple? Let's hear it.
All righty. I call the poem Football because that's the title of it.
I never heard a better reason. Now, go ahead, Wimp.
Football. I've saved my money from sodas and gum to buy a seat at the stadium to see a college football game, though I don't know why, they're all the same. But I got a seat on the 10-yard line where I should see the game just fine. So all through the game, what did I see? Just the backs of the people in front of me.
Why, that's simply a wonderful poem, Mr. Wimple. McGee, that ought to appeal to you.
I wonder why it doesn't. Wimp, you mean to tell us there's a market for that stuff?
Oh, yes, Mr. McGee. I'm sending this to my publishers right now. Tell me, if I send it airmail today, will it get to New York by the end of the week?
Oh, of course it will, Mr. Wimple. Sure.
Isn't that wonderful?
What's so wonderful about getting it to New York in 4 days?
It's addressed to Philadelphia.
Does your wife like your poetry, Mr. Wimple?
Well, no, Mrs. McGee. Sweetie Face is more the physical type.
Oh.
Did you know she had a job at the filling station last week?
What doing?
Blowing up tires. But she had to quit.
Oh, why?
Her lips got chapped. Well, I've got to go to the post office. Goodbye.
Poor Mr. Wimple. McGee, where are you going?
I want to peek out the window. Oh, it's okay.
What's okay?
Wimple's walking to the post office.
Well, what difference does it make how he gets there?
What do you mean, what difference does it make? He ain't got any right to drive down there. It's only 5 blocks. We can't drive our cars for trivial stuff like that.
Well, for goodness sakes, when did you get converted?
Well, you heard what the trivia says about the rubber boat. That brung it home to me. Up till then, I was... Come in.
Oh, how do you do? You wish to see someone?
Yes, I was looking for Mr. Latrivia. Is he here? Oh, how sweetheart.
Oh, I'm sorry, sis. The trivia just left a few minutes ago.
Oh, thank you so much. He probably went home. I'm his sister, Mrs. Simpson.
Oh, how do you do, I'm sure. This is my husband, Mr. McGee, Mrs. Simpson.
Not Simpson, Mrs. McGee. Simpson. S, like in Santa Claus. I-M-P, another S-O-N.
Oh, Simpson.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad to know you, sis. But,
what a sweet little boy. What's his name, dearie?
Susan Simpson. No, don't cry, sweetheart. No, mustn't cry. Here's your teething ring.
Hey, cut that out. Give me that.
McGee, what are you doing?
Yes, I confess I don't
Did you see what that kid's doing? Chewing on that teething ring. Don't you know that that's made of rubber? Go ahead, howl your head off. I did too till I understood the situation. Don't you realize, kid, that this rubber thing is serious? Don't you realize that we gotta utilize every scrap of rubber for essential purposes? Okay, yell your head off. But you ain't gonna eat any rubber while I'm here. Don't you realize that we all gotta put our...
Transportation is today. Trains, trucks, and planes all operating at maximum capacity to help maintain the country's tremendous war production. How many of you know that wax finishes made by Johnson play a part in keeping up these transportation units? Some streamlined trains wear a coat of specially prepared wax finish to make them easier and quicker to clean, and to offer some protection against the elements. Many thousands of commercial trucks across the country are waxed with this same special Johnson Transportation Wax Polish. Planes are given a wax coat also, particularly those that have to stand up against the corrosive action of sea air. These wax finishes do much more than keep up appearances. They give real protection, and they save maintenance labor when manpower is a vital issue. Truck operators and transportation executives are invited to write S.C. Johnson & Son at Racine, Wisconsin, or Brantford, Canada, for full information about these wartime uses for wax finishes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gale Gordon, our Mayor Latrivia, was with us for the last time tonight before going into the service. He's only one of many of our little group now in our armed forces, musicians, engineers, sound technicians, and others behind the scenes whose names you probably wouldn't know, but who were valued members of our company just the same. We'd like to take this occasion to wish you, Gale, and all the other boys the very best of luck and to assure you all of a warm welcome when you come back.
Thank you, Fibber.
And if all of you give that big show everything you gave our little ones, your new sponsor, Uncle Sam, will be very happy.
Good night.
Good night, all.
The character of Wallace Wimple heard on this program was played by Bill Thompson. This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax Finishes for Home and Industry. We invite you to be with us again next Tuesday. Good night. This program has reached you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company. The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. The show opens with New Sun in the Sky. You'll agree with me that the looks, the character, and the charm of a home certainly do not depend upon the amount of money spent on it. A piece of furniture, a hanging, or a floor covering may be in very good taste and be very inexpensive. No, it isn't the money. It's all the little things you do that make your home friendly and cozy. The use of wax is one of these things because certainly where floors and furniture and woodwork are regularly waxed, they give beauty and charm to an entire home. And wax also is inexpensive. A small bottle or can of Johnson's paste, liquid, or cream wax goes a long way. Pays for itself many times over in hours of work saved and in the protection that a shield of genuine Johnson's wax gives to wood, leather, and metal finishes. The squire of 79 Wistful Vista is a man of many parts. So is a vacuum cleaner. The party of the first part is just now finding out about the party of the second part having so many parts as we join Fibber McGee and Molly.
All the doggone complicated gadgets. I don't know why it takes so much machinery to create a vacuum. It's like building $1 million laboratory to split a atom. I know.
Haven't you got that vacuum cleaner fixed yet, McGee?
No, and I've been working on it all day, and all I can see wrong with it is there's a little gadget missing off the thingamajig there that goes under the what's-it behind the hootenanny here.
Yes, I know. I told you that before you started.
You did?
Certainly, but you wouldn't listen. You just kept saying, what do women know about mechanics? And you brushed me off.
Well, I don't know anything about mechanics. Matter of fact, women don't know much about anything.
Why, Fibber McGee, how you can
Oh, they're
stand.
sweet and nice and all that. But when it comes down to actually doing things, it takes a man.
Well, who'd we better get?
Well, I don't know. Maybe more troops ain't doing it. What do you mean, who'll we get?
Well, I don't agree with you that men are smarter than women.
No, you don't. Well, who does all the important work in this world and earns the dough so you women can eat and have good clothes in the home and stuff? Men, that's whom.
I see. We take what you earn. So you think that makes you smarter than we are. Ha, ha, ha.
Men that make life easy for you. A woman couldn't even open a can of beans if some man hadn't invented the can opener.
Well, you really said something there, did you?
I sure did.
You did indeed.
Yes, sir.
For 1,000 years, women have been cooking beans in an oven and then serving them in dishes.
Betcha.
Then along comes Mr. Man, the smarty pants. Going to save us a lot of trouble. So he invents a tin can to put the beans in.
You betcha.
And then he finds he has to invent a can opener to get the beans out. Then he spends so much time trying to sell his new gadget from door to door, he gets home late and his wife has to heat the beans over again in the oven and might just as well have cooked them there in the first place.
Yeah, but I still maintain that...
I'm sorry, dearie, I'm sorry. The battle of the sexes is another program. I've got things to do and you've got to fix that vacuum cleaner.
Well, I can't fix it till I get one of them little thingamabobs that attaches to the what's-this here. Give me the phone. I'll have the hardware store send one over.
Phone's out of order.
Ah, the phone's out of order, she says. Now, there's a fine sample of women's inefficiency. Why didn't you tell me so I could have reported it and had it fixed?
I reported it myself the first thing this morning.
Well, they sending somebody out?
Naturally. They said there'd be a repairman out immediately.
Oh, a repairman, eh? Don't suppose you know any women that could have fixed it?
A woman wouldn't have invented the telephone in the first place.
What you mean?
Who wants a nickel's worth of gossip when the back fence is free?
That must be the repairman now. Come in, Si.
McGee's residence?
Well, we're still arguing that point with the FHA, but we live here.
Well, I'm from the telephone company. You reported your phone out of order.
Doggone it, sis. Did you have to come way out here just to check up on that? Why didn't they send a repairman?
I'm the repairman. Where's the telephone?
Right here. It went dead this morning, and I don't know just...
Don't worry, I'll find it.
Boy, this is going to be good. Better fix up the guest room, Molly. She'll be here a week.
That'll be nice. Maybe she'll tell me how the phone company trains those bumblebees.
What bumblebees?
The ones that give you that busy signal.
Hand me my screwdriver, please. Thank you.
Bumblebees? This is rich. Alexandria Graham Belladonna. I bet you don't know a transmitter from...
Quiet, please, quiet. Hello? This is number 29, testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whoop, whoop. Okay, bring me back, please. Hello? Okay, now, all clear. It's all right now, sir. I don't think you'll have any more trouble.
What? It's fixed already? What was the matter with it, sis?
The diaphragm was full of cigar ashes. Good day.
So, that's where those ashes went last night.
Say, why didn't you ask her to fix the vacuum cleaner for you, too, sweetheart?
Just because she managed to make a simple adjustment on the telephone by some fluke, that don't mean she could... I'll bet the phones don't even work right now. But
Try it.
I will. Give me.
Well, here.
Hello, operator. Give me the hardware store. The number is Whistle Vista. Oh, is that you, Mert?
Now I'm sorry she did get it fixed.
How's every little thing, Mert? Tis, eh? What's that, Mert? Your uncle? Ah. Well, he's sure got the right spirit, Mert, but if he's over 38 years old, I don't think he can get back in.
The Army, dearie?
No, high school. What's that, Mert? Well, maybe I better go down there myself anyway. Thanks, Mert. Line's busy at the hardware store, Molly. You want to go down there with me?
If you'll walk.
What do you mean if I walk? 4 gallons of gas. I gotta save that for something non-essential. Come on, let's go.
I'll be with you in just a minute. I've got to fix my hair a little and put on my face. I'll be down in just a jiffy.
Ah, women. Put on my face, fix my hair, find my gloves, get a hanky, squirt on some perfume, straighten my seams, change my earrings, pull down my girdle. Where'd I put my purse? Does my slip show of all the dumb inefficiency? Come in.
Mr. McGee?
Yes?
30 cents, please. I'm collecting for the evening paper.
Okay, here you are, sis. Yeah, but why don't the paper boy collect?
I'm the paper boy now. Thank you.
Boy, what a changing world. Hey, Molly. Come on, Molly, hurry up.
What's all the rush, McGee?
I want to get out of here before the finance company sends a couple of cuties out to pick up the piano. Women telephone repairmen, women wrestlers, women mechanics, women paper boys.
Oh, now, stop your complaining, McGee. I imagine a woman delivering the evening paper will be very conscientious.
That's just it. I'm so used to looking all through the shrubbery. How can I find the paper if it's laying right there on the porch?
Incidentally, dearie, I forgot to tell you.
Forgot to tell me what?
The next time you write a note for the milkman, you better let me do it. She's a redhead.
You mean even the milkman is a woman now? Oh, my gosh. I don't know what this country's coming to when
McGee,
Huh?
Look who's coming, Mrs. Uppington.
Uh-oh. Get a load of the uptown strut. Anybody think a peacock brought her instead of a common old stork?
Now, don't be unpleasant, dearie. It isn't nice to hate people just because they're rich, you know.
I don't hate her just because she's rich. Well, that helps. The way she looks down her nose at me. I tried staring back at her once, and I was cross-eyed for 3 days.
Well, don't... Oh, hello there, Abigail, darling.
Oh, how do you do, Mrs. McGee? And Mr. McGee?
Oh, hi, Effie. On your way somewhere, or have you been where you're going?
Oh, this is strictly business, Mr. McGee. I am a working girl now, you know.
Yeah, you may be working, but you're no good.
McGee. You working, Abigail? Heavenly days. Who on earth would ever hire... what could you possibly do that would be... that is, well, where are you working?
Oh, that is quite confidential. But, my dear, it is so thrilling to feel oneself a part of the humming business life of the city. To feel that one, in one small way, is doing one's best to help one's fellow man.
I'll give you a fin for those 5 ones up here.
I beg your pardon, Miss McGee.
Oh, he's just trying to be smart, Abigail.
Oh, really? Well, I'm sorry. I always seem to be present when the attempt fails. Have you ever achieved it, Mr. McGee?
What do you mean, Effie?
I mean, Miss McGee, that I do not wish you to think that your attempts are humor are entirely unappreciated.
Oh, honest? You don't say that just because you admire me.
My admiration stops somewhat short of adulation. In short, I consider you a humorist in a class with Mark Twain.
Oh, isn't that great?
Mark Twain, eh? Hey, is he dead?
Very. I see that you have grasped my point. And now, Mrs. McGee, if you will excuse me, I must be going.
Oh, now, don't rush off, Abigail. I'd like to hear more about this new work of yours.
Yeah, me too, Abby. Gee, it must give you a lot of satisfaction to hold down a real man's job.
Oh, indeed it does, Mr. McGee. You must try it sometime. Well, goodbye, Mrs. McGee. I have just time to get to the office to put on my uniform.
Uniform?
Yes, oh, it's such fun, really. There is nothing like wearing a uniform, you know, to give one a feeling of esprit de corps.
Yeah, ain't it the truth, Uppy? I rented one from a costume company once, and I had that feeling for weeks. I itched all over. Maybe it was just my imagination, but I...
Now, please, Mr. McGee. Goodbye, Mrs. McGee.
Did I say something wrong?
I don't know, McGee, but I do wish you two would stop snarling at each other. I always feel like I'd spent the day climbing in and out of a ring with a towel and a pail of water.
She's too doggone high-hat. She burns me up. She always acts like she just stepped off the Plymouth Rock and I was something that crawled out from under it.
I wonder what kind of a job she's got.
I don't know, but this thing is getting worse and worse. The way women are taking men's jobs is awful.
Oh, now, it isn't that bad. Come on, now. We got to get across to the hardware store.
Okay.
No, we can't cross the street now. The light's against us.
Oh, come on. There's hardly any traffic. Come on, cross.
Watch your step there, I'll be running you in for jaywalking. Go on back to the curb now, both of you.
Heavenly days, a policewoman.
This is too much. I'm going home and learn how to crochet.
Now, this is war, McGee. Somebody's got to take the men's places. Come on, we've got the light now.
Women cops. Women paper boys.
Well, hello, folks. Doing your Christmas shopping?
Oh, hello, Mr. Wilcox. No, we're just down to buy a part for our vacuum cleaner.
Hey, Harlow, are you still working for Johnson's Wax?
Certainly. Why?
You mean no woman has taken your place yet?
What are you talking about, John?
Well, he's frightened, Mr. Wilcox.
You ain't kidding. I really am. The women are moving in on us, Harlow. I'm scared.
Oh, don't be like that.
I'm telling you, the first time I see a bunch of girls standing on a corner watching men get on the streetcar, I'm off to the tall timber.
Oh, he's had a bad day, Mr. Wilcox. You know, we've got a lady milkman and a lady paper boy, and the telephone repairman was a woman, and we just got bawled out by a female cop.
Well, personally, Fibber, I think it's a great thing.
Traitor.
Not at all. Why, we wouldn't be in business if it weren't for women being so smart.
How's that, Mr. Wilcox?
Well, women hadn't demanded an easier, simpler way to protect and preserve their kitchen linoleum. Johnson's self-polishing glow coat would never have been developed.
That's all very well, but suppose so.
Why, it's the women who realized that a protective wax polish like Johnson's glow coat was really a very important health measure, too.
But I don't quite see what
Because it seals surfaces against dust and dirt and dampness. And makes a kitchen where food is prepared a great deal more sanitary place.
What's that got to do?
Why, when you stop to think that Johnson's self-polishing glow coat dries to a beautiful mirror-like finish in 20 minutes or less, you...
What's the matter?
Oh, nothing. But Fibber usually interrupts me about that point.
Not anymore, I don't, Junior. You go right on. Give it everything. Take as long as you like. I want you to keep your job.
Why, McGee?
You think I want to be left in this town but nobody but women? You're too old for the army, aren't you, Wilcox?
Well, yes, but what...
Ah, good. We got to see more of each other, pal. Drop round the house oftener. Let's go bowling together. And hunting. Gee whiz, we can be a regular Damon and Runyon.
Well, this is all very touching, McGee. It's a beautiful friendship, but we've got to get that vacuum cleaner fixed. We'll see you later, Mr. Wilcox.
Okay, Molly. And Fibber, you might as well stop worrying about this being a woman's world.
You mean you don't think it will be?
I mean, it always has been. Come on.
You better take his advice, McGee. You haven't got any job a woman could get anyway.
Well, I know. Uh-oh.
Now what?
I'm fresh out of cigars. Excuse me while I duck in this tobacco shop and get a handful.
All right.
Yes, sir?
Oh, my gosh, another woman. You got any of my brand of cigars, sis? El Ropo de Cabajo in the 2 for a nickel size?
Certainly, sir. Here you are, though we have a milder brand and a pure Havana with a long filler. Those you are smoking are a combination of Virginia short fiber combined with a Turkish leaf, which has been crossed with a Louisiana Perique. We have found in the selection of tobaccos that under chemical analysis, the nicotine content...
Oh, never mind. I don't eat them, I just smoke them. Here's a dime. So long. It's a play. I'm haunted.
Oh, now what's the matter, McGee?
A woman cigar clerk. Where'll they be next? Ain't there any work around here anymore for men? Has the whole world gone soprano?
Oh, now, for goodness sakes, McGee, stop ranting. Have you seen any
Hello
women...
there, daughter. Hello, Johnny.
Well, thank goodness, a man's voice.
Hello, Mr. Oldtimer. We haven't seen you for a long time.
No, I've been working on the other side of town, daughter.
Doing what, old-timer?
Filling station. But the boss fired me.
Oh, what'd he do that for?
Wasn't a he, it was a she. Got mad because I tried to kiss her. Says it was a filling station, not a pet shop. Says if I wanted to be a wolf, I better get me some new teeth. Says I didn't have the technique for a Casanova or the legs for a Romeo. Says if I wanted to make passes so bad, why didn't I go out for football? Says she loved children, but I was in my second childhood, and she only loved them the first time around. That got me, kid. I quit.
I thought you said she fired you.
Well, anyway, I got my walking papers.
Yes. So is McGee, only in his case they call it an A book.
That's pretty good, daughter. But that ain't the way I heard it. The way I heard it, one feller says to t'other feller, hey, where are you kids going?
We're going down to the hardware store on the next block. Why?
I just wondered. But the way I heard it, one feller says to t'other feller, he says, what's wrong with old Mussolini? Oh, says t'other feller, didn't you know? He ain't got any aces, and the deuce is wild.
Men sing no more coffee in the pot.
Here's an open letter to the boys in the air on land or home. While you're scrapping over there, we're getting in the scrap back home. No more coffee in the pot, no more sugar in the drawer. But gosh, oh gee, what care we if it's gonna help win the war? No more bacon on the pig, no more butter in the store. But we will lean on margarine if it's gonna help win the war. Don't need cuffs on trouser legs and suits now are dead. We'll jump the bumpers on our cars if we can bump 3-axis heads. No more apple in the tank, no more tires anymore. But we won't swap, we'll get out and walk if it's gonna help win the war. Do less driving, do more parking, you'll get a dividend, you'll get a dividend. No more talking on the phone. From Fort Worth to Baltimore, we'll get along fine with the old grapevine if it's gonna help win the war. No more spending all our dough, we got a lot to save it for bonds and stamps to lick the tramps who began this doggone war. We're cleaning, painting, hanging, paper, waxing all we can to clean and plaster, shickle, grouper, the paper hanging man. No more filly on the cow, skirts are shorter than before. So we'll eat less and see a bit more if we all pitch in and help to win this blank, 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 blank war.
Well, I certainly would like to know what Abigail Uppington is working at, McGee. You know, that puzzles me.
Me too. I bet she's a supervisor for the police department, enforcing the blackout.
What makes you think so?
I can't think of any other use for a dim bulb like her.
Listen now. I like her.
Well,
Though I would like to know why she's keeping this job of hers such a secret.
well, whatever it is, I'll bet she's...
Here, McGee, here's your hardware store.
Oh,
Now, do you remember what you need for the vacuum cleaner?
sure I do. Come on.
Good day. What could I do for you?
Well, look, sis, could I see the manager?
Certainly.
I'm the manager.
Oh, well, we hardly expected to see a woman managing a hardware store.
Maybe you didn't, Molly, but I'm getting so I expect to find him managing anything. I'll bet I can look out the back window tomorrow morning and see our garbage man powdering her nose.
What could I do for you, please?
Well, I don't suppose you'd know anything about it, dearie, but our vacuum cleaner is broken, and we need a little, you tell it, dearie.
Okay, look, sis, a vacuum cleaner is a pretty complicated mechanism, so I'll try to explain what I want in words of one syllable or less.
What kind of a vacuum cleaner is it, please?
A rover.
I see. Then you undoubtedly need the little flange that fits over the gear housing to keep the brush unit from meshing with the speed governor. That would be 237J129 in the new catalog, and I think I have one right here. Is this what you wanted?
Well, is it McGee? McGee, close your mouth and stop popping your eyes and tell.
What? Right. Yes, that's the very thing. How did you know, sis?
That's usually what's wanted to repair the rover machine. That's because there is too much vibration in the gear housing for the tensile strength of the material. It causes what we call metal fatigue, which results in undue wear. Now, in the earlier models, the disc, which is superimposed on the power shaft, directly under the intermediate gear.
McGee, stop shaking. I think my husband is a bit ill, dearie. I better get him out in the fresh air. How much is it?
The ceiling price is 47 cents. Though in the catalogs from 1934 to 1941 inclusive, it was listed
Never
as...
mind. Here's $50, and thank you very much. Come on, McGee. Brace up. It's all over. McGee, snap out of it.
Was I hearing things, Molly? Was that a woman? Did she know all that about vacuum cleaners?
It was, and she did, and now maybe you'll believe that women are useful at times. Come on, let's go home now.
Boy, what a day this has been. Women everywhere. I'm telling you, it scares me.
What scares you, Mr. McGee?
Mr. Wimple, I didn't see you.
Hi, Wimp, old man. I was just saying that with all these women taking men's place in business, I feel kind of lost. Us guys are going to have a tough time getting back into circulation again.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about it, Mr. McGee.
Huh?
I often tell Sweetie Face that woman's place is in the home.
You tell her that?
Yes. And then when she gets up to start after me, I tell her that wherever she is home to me.
Hey, what's the matter with your lips, Wimp? You fall down or something?
Oh, no, Mr. McGee. They're just a little bruised.
Oh.
Cigarettes, you know.
Oh, how could you smash your lips all up with a cigarette?
Yeah.
Well, Sweetie Face is so afraid of fire in her feminine way that every time she sees a lighted cigarette, she stamps it out with her foot. I guess I didn't spit it out quickly enough.
Why, you poor man. And what have you been doing downtown today?
I went to the Bonton department store, Mrs. McGee, to tell Santa Claus what I wanted for Christmas.
Did you sit on his lap, Wimp?
Oh, Mr. McGee, that's ridiculous. Santa Claus hasn't got any left.
Well, what'd you ask him for, Mr. Wimple?
A pair of stilts.
Stilts?
Isn't that a little childish, Mr. Wimple?
Not in this case, Mrs. McGee. I read someplace that you can tame a wild beast if you look it straight in the eye. Sweetie Face is so much taller than I am.
How's everything in the poetry department, Wimp?
Oh, I keep right on with it, Mr. McGee. I just finished a Christmas poem.
Oh, let's hear it, Mr. Wimple. Come on now.
All righty. I call it The Morning After the Night Before Christmas. And it goes...
Hey, that's the best one you've written yet.
I was just clearing my throat, Mr. Wimple.
Natural mistake. Go on, Mr. Wimple.
All right. From the Arctic Circle down to the Isthmus, we're waiting eagerly for Christmas, with joyous hearts and sparkling eyes for Santa's annual surprise. And I always win in the Yuletide race, 'cause I steal some hose from Sweetie Face. An idea I think is very clever, as hers hold more than mine would ever. With a gay little tail and a razzmatazz. Oh, what a sock that woman has. Excuse me, folks, here comes my speaker. Goodbye.
What a poem.
Didn't you like it, McGee?
I've read better ones on Burma shade signs with the last two posts missing. Come on, let's go home. I'm wore out.
Well, you've had a hard day, dear. You know, it's been a great emotional strain on you, finding women so efficient in everything.
Well, gee whiz. They don't have to take over everything, do they? They can leave a few jobs open for men. After all, what's it got?
Oh, McGee, give me some change. I want to drop it in the box for that Santa Claus on the corner.
Okay, here you are. I better stand back so my cigar won't set his beard on fire.
Yeah. Here you are, Santa Claus. Here's a little present for you.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. McGee.
You've had the experience, I'm sure, of walking into a wax-protected home where the floors, furniture, and woodwork gleamed with that mellow, rich beauty that only wax can give. I wonder if you realize that there was something awfully important in that home besides beauty. I mean its cleanliness and what that means in healthful living. When you wax your floors, furniture, woodwork, and baseboards with Johnson's wax, you not only protect those surfaces against wear, but you actually prevent dirt from collecting there. You seal the surfaces against moisture penetration, too. And germs don't like clean, dry places. Yes, a waxed house is a clean house, and a clean house is a sanitary, healthful one. Let Johnson's wax, paste, liquid, or cream help you, especially in these times, to keep your home immaculate as well as beautiful.
Where's that vacuum cleaner, Molly? I want to put this thingamajig into it.
Right where you always leave it, in the center of the room.
Oh, yeah. Now, let me see. I think if I tip it over... Hey, what's it? It's running.
I
It's
know.
there.
Sure. I fixed it.
You did? How?
I plugged it in.
Well, of all the doggone inefficiency. Ain't that just like a woman? Why, if you'd have plugged it in the first place, we wouldn't have had any trouble.
No. And we wouldn't have had any show either.
Thought of that. Good night.
Good night, all.
The characters of Wallace Wimple and the old-timer heard on this program were played by Bill Thompson. This is Harlow Wilcox speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax Finishes for Home and Industry, inviting you to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night. This program has reached you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company. The Johnson Wax program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. The show opens with O G O Joy. On this program, I mentioned something that caused a good deal of comment. I said, a waxed house is a clean house, and a clean house is a sanitary, healthful one. Do you remember? Well, it seems that quite a few people have not fully realized that when they wax their floors, furniture, and woodwork regularly with genuine Johnson's Wax, they are actually doing a good deal more than protecting and beautifying those surfaces. Yes, they're making their homes healthier as well as pleasanter places to live in. You see, the wax seals the surface against dirt and moisture. Dust and dirt do not adhere easily to a wax-polished area. So regular waxing removes many of the sources of germs. And besides, it's so much easier to clean waxed floors, baseboards, and furniture. Especially in these times, let Johnson's paste, liquid, or cream wax help keep your home sanitary and beautiful. About this time of the, quote, happy, unquote, Yuletide season, every husband begins to get that cornered rat look about his eyes. But the squire of 79 Wistful Vista looks even more desperate than that. something is definitely perturbing our hero. For further details, we join Fibber McGee and Molly.
And furthermore, I'm the dumbest, short-sightedest, dim-wittedest, stumble-bummetest, empty-headedest, feather-brainedest droop that ever didn't know enough to come in out of a tornado.
Well, just as you say.
If my head was small enough to fit my brains, I'd be getting telegrams from Ripley.
Well, I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
Say Washington's home at Mount Vernon has got a beautiful big stoop, but you got a bigger and a beautifuler stoop, and I don't mean anybody but me.
Ah, you just say that.
Got the IQ of a microbe. I think when I die, I'll leave my skull to the Smithsonian for a doorknob.
How charming.
As dumb as I am, it's a wonder to me I ever got out of the third grade.
It's a wonder to me you ever got in.
You ain't whistling Dixie there either. I think I'll give myself back to the Indians. I'm the biggest numbskull that ever...
All right, McGee. I'll admit you're a fascinating subject, but what's this all about?
It's about me. That's what it's all about. I'm the stupidest...
All right. For the sake of argument, let's say you're completely brainless.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'll find it sooner or later.
Find what?
That's $15. I was saving it for your Christmas present. I hid it last summer, so I wouldn't be tempted to spend it, and now I can't find it. If that don't make me the weak-minded dumb...
Now, stop pacing up and down. Ours is a beautiful union, and it doesn't need any pickets.
Pickets are still laying there. And I'm getting desperate. Only 8 more shopping days before Christmas, and I've looked every place.
Calm yourself. What man can hide, man can find.
Yeah.
Where do you usually hide your extra money?
I don't usually have any extra money. But when I did, I used to put it in the sugar bowl.
Did you look there?
Yes, but I'm using it now to keep stuff more valuable than money.
Why?
Sugar.
Did you go through all your old clothes?
Yeah, but it wouldn't be there. I distinctly remember tucking it away in some safe place. Oh, let me see. Where could... Hey, hand me that blue vase on the mantel.
Oh, this one here?
Oh, no, it ain't here. This is where I've been keeping my cellophane collection. Sure got a mess of it, haven't I?
What are you saving cellophane for?
I don't know. I guess I just got tired of collecting cigar bands. String. Seemed to be more future in cellophane. Doggone it, this makes me sore.
Was it in $5 bill series?
It was a 10 and a 5 in a white envelope. And I wrote on the outside of it, do not touch until 10 days before Christmas, and this means me.
Well, I'm a pretty good housekeeper, if I do say so myself, and I haven't seen anything of it.
Well, if the worst comes to worst, I'll get an internal revenue collector in here. Them guys could find money in a caraway seed. Now, let me think a minute. If I could just remember.
Come in. Abigail Uppington. Hello, darling.
Oh, how do you do, my dear? And Miss McGee.
Hi, Uppy. Where's your Santa Claus costume? Or aren't you christening the Kringle today?
Oh, I don't go on duty till 4 o'clock, Miss McGee. But what, may I ask, is the matter with you?
What do you mean, Abigail?
Well, look at him, my dear. He looks positively haggard. I only hope the government doesn't catch him with those Chevrolet tires under his eyes.
I ain't been sleeping good, Uppy. I got pernicious insomnia. I'm worried.
Yes, he hid $15 for Christmas shopping, Abigail. Now he can't find it. For 3 days now, he's been prowling around the house like a mouse after a cat.
You mean a cat after a mouse?
In this house, anything can happen.
I've had a case like that once.
Uppy, you sound Ozzier than Nelson. What happened with you?
Oh, I was simply frantic because I thought I'd mislaid a ruby and emerald bracelet. But the solution was so simple it was ridiculous.
Well, what was the solution? Maybe it'll give McGee an idea.
I suddenly realized I had never had a ruby and emerald bracelet. Isn't that silly?
And I thought I was done. Uppy, you're as giddy as a steeplejack full of applejack.
I'm afraid I was at that time, Mr. McGee. You see, I was just a girl out of finishing school and madly in love with a handsome young lieutenant.
Well, there was something awfully romantic about those Civil War uniforms, Abigail.
Yes, indeed, they certainly were. I beg your pardon, Mr. McGee.
Don't mention it, Abigail. But what girls' school did you go to?
Oh, Ward Belmont, my dear, in Nashville, Tennessee. Oh, I can close my eyes now and smell the magnolias on the campus.
That's my hair, Uppy. I just come from the barber shop.
It is Magnolia Jockey Club.
Well, do remind me, my dear, sometime to show you the pictures of my class. I was captain of the croquet team, you know.
No. Well, call me Virginia and watch me reel. So you all were the captain of the croquet team, was you, honey child?
Now, please, Miss McGee, I have only the most charming memories of the South, and I found Southern men were always most gentlemanly.
Well, I guess that'll dim your northern lights, McGee.
That must account for my good manners, Uppy. My grandfather wore the Southern uniform, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sure, he was a conductor on the Chattanooga Choo-Choo Ambulance. What was it you wanted to see me about?
Oh, I just wanted to tell you about the most marvelous fortune teller.
Fortune teller? Blah. Those bargain basement gypsies couldn't foretell the future of a blue-eyed blonde with the fleet in.
Oh. But they're fun, dearie. They're fun.
Ah, fun my clavicle. Dark man going across your path, going to take a long journey, going to get a letter. You'll find your diamond ring under the... Hey, maybe she can tell me where my $15 is. Come on, what are we waiting for? Get your hat, Molly. Where is this fortune teller?
He's upstairs.
Never mind, I'll find it. Come on, Molly. We'll see you later, Uppy. Why didn't I think of this before? Oh, boy, that $15 is as good as found. Right now. Why, those people are wonderful. I know of a case where a guy lost a big sum once. Get a load of this reception room, Molly. Boy, what a dump.
Well, this was your idea, not mine.
Why do fortune tellers always live in joints like this? If they can see into the future, why don't they make a killing at the races and live in a classy apartment?
Well, maybe they can't get a crystal ball big enough to see a horse in.
Well, this one sure ought to know her onions. She's cooked enough of them around here.
Don't be so critical. You know, Madam X ought to be calling us in any time now. You know, we've been waiting here 25 minutes.
Madam X. Probably an old gypsy named McGillicuddy. Not that I care what her name is, if she can slap herself into a trance and find my $15.
You know, we'd have saved time if we just consulted Uncle Dennis.
Ah, what does he know about fortune telling?
Well, I don't know, but he certainly lives in an atmosphere of departed spirits. You know, last night I came into the hall and I found him balancing himself on the banister.
Yeah? What'd he say?
He said, "Niece, your escalator has run down."
At it again, huh? I gave him a lecture about that just the other day.
What'd he do?
He just sat tight.
Mr. McGee, I will see you now, please.
Oh, thank you, madam. Come on, dearie. We'll see what fate has in store for you. If fate still has a store, which I doubt with things being so hard to get.
Oh, I'm ready, sis. Hop onto your broomstick.
This way, please.
Oh, incense.
I think I preferred the onions. Hey, can't we have a little light in here, sis?
No. The darkness is desirable for closer contact with the forces of the unknown. Sit down, please.
Oh, thank you. You see, the reason we came, Madam X, is because...
Do not tell me. I will tell you. Your husband is in trouble, no?
My husband is in trouble, yes.
Hey, how'd you know, sis? Can you read my mind?
Yes. It is very simple.
Huh? No, that's what he's been telling himself all day, Madam.
How do we go about this now, sis? Do you read the stars, feel the bumps on my head, look at my palm, or do we just sit around and strain our eyes at each other?
No. For $5, I will answer 3 questions.
$5? Isn't that a little expensive?
Yes. Now you have 2 more questions.
Oh, we better not waste any time, Molly. Here's the question, sis. Where's the $15 I was saving for my wife's Christmas present?
It is right where you are putting it. Now, you have 1 more question.
Heavenly days. We're not making much progress, are we?
No. Now, for another $5, I will answer 3 more questions.
Oh, no, you don't, sis. Come on, Molly. I ain't going to pay her $10 to find 15. Here, sis, here's your $5.
Thank you. You must come again and see Madame X when you are troubled with business, love, or marriage.
Oh, what? Do we look that silly? Do you think we like to be gypped?
That is 3 more questions. I will answer the first one by saying...
Come on, Molly, come on, quick.
Well, my goodness, McGee. We didn't get much satisfaction in there, did we?
Well, yes. She at least says that dough is still where I put it. That's some comfort. Well, come on, let's go home and see.
Hello there, folks. Say, have you been consulting Madam X?
Yes, if you call it that, Mr. Wilcox.
The way that dame clips you, she ought to be a barber in a boot camp. You going to consult her, Junior?
Sure. I was in here last week for advice.
About what?
Oh, business. I asked her how the future of Johnson's wax stacked up. She said it had a very bright and sparkling future.
Oh.
She says that in times like these, when conservation was so important, more housewives than ever would preserve and protect their floors with Johnson's wax.
And what was the second question, my fellow chump?
Well, then I asked her which of the Johnson wax features I should emphasize, and she said health. Because Johnson's wax seals the surface against dust and dirt and dampness and gives the housewife so much extra rest and leisure.
Oh, and the third question?
That's where I made my mistake. I asked her if my pipe bothered her.
And she said yes and soaked you another thin. Boy, what a racket.
Say, why on earth are you coming back, Mr. Wilcox, if you knew you'd been cheated?
I want to ask her if she took my watch.
Mr. Wilcox, I will see you now.
I'll say you will, baby. So long, folks.
Well, let's get on home, McGee. We'll turn the house inside out when we find that $15.
And believe me, the next time I hide something, I'm going to hide it in plain sight. This will teach me a lesson. If I wasn't such a sap-headed, beetle-brained, block-eared, low-browed, slithering... Tricks I ever heard of anything.
Well, now that we're home, where we better start, McGee?
Oh, I don't know. I remember putting it in a place where I could lay hands on it at a minute's notice.
You say the $15 was in a white envelope?
Yes.
Well, that shouldn't be so hard to find. Would you put it behind one of the pictures?
No, I looked behind all the pictures this morning. I turned Whistler's mother around so many times she almost fell out of her chair.
Say, maybe you put it under a rug. No, I've had them up too many times. I'd have seen it.
Oh, why can't I remember? I must have a skull full of rice pudding. I'm the biggest drip this side of Niagara Falls. The only thing that keeps my ears apart is my big fat mouth.
Oh. No, McGee. Anybody can forget, see?
Nobody can forget him as easy as me. It's exasperating. I'm getting so I'm afraid to shake hands for fear I'll walk off without my arm. Here I thought I was a pretty bright guy, and I couldn't pass the intelligence test of a Mongolian basket weaver. Why of all
Now,
this?
for goodness sake, if you'd stop scolding yourself for a few minutes, maybe we could get something done.
Well, my gosh, well.
Now, listen, here's what we better do. I'll start with the upstairs and go through every room, and you look around down here, and between us we ought to cover every inch of this house.
Okay, but I...
Now, stop your arguing. Anyway, you're not as dumb as you claim. You're really pretty smart.
I am?
Yes.
Oh.
Or you wouldn't have hidden that $15 from yourself. Why, when it comes to money, and I hope we do...
Come in.
Oh, hello there, Mr. Oldtimer.
Hello, daughter. Hello, Johnny. I just stopped in to say goodbye. Goodbye. Hey, Oldtimer, come back here. What's the matter, kid?
You can't yell goodbye at us and then rush away like that. Where are you going and for how long?
Yeah, and when will you be back and for how long?
Going to Chicago, kid. Gonna be gone for an indefinite period.
Oh, what do you mean indefinite period?
I mean, I won't be back till the afternoon of January 5th. But whether 3 o'clock or 3:15 is indefinite.
Why?
Hey?
Why?
Oh, well, I'll hold still and you swat it, Johnny.
No, my husband means are you going to fly to Chicago or take the train?
Ain't decided, daughter. Thought maybe I'd get up early in the morning, throw the saddle on old Betsy, sleep on her back, and ride her all the way to Charlotte.
Well, that's a long trip for a horse.
Who's a horse?
Why? Isn't Betsy?
No, Betsy's my bicycle. On the other hand, kid, I'll likely take the steam cars. I love trains. Used to be a railroad man in my younger days.
What'd you do on the railroad?
What do you mean, what did I do, Johnny? I had my own.
You mean you owned a railroad?
Sure did, daughter. 18 cars, 2 engines, and 72 foot of track. Run from the dining room through the front hall, back to the kitchen and round into the dining room again. Stopped at the umbrella stand, the piano stool, refrigerator, and the cook, exception Mondays, which was the cook's day off, at the piano stool on signal only. But I had a bad wreck in 1889 when Papa come home late one night, tripped over the coal car.
Tough luck.
Yes. Now I never see an engine with a tender behind without thinking of what Papa did to me that night. Well, go on, kid. Merry Christmas.
The King's Men sing, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
Children sing, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the softly falling snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white, and all year through, may every wish you make for Christmas
Well, McGee, I'll have to confess, I'm about ready to give up. You certainly hit that $15 well.
Yes, and I could kick myself around the block for it, too. If I'm not the silliest dumb...
Yes, we've been all over that. Are you sure you had $15 in the first place?
Sure, I'm sure. A 10 and a 5. And they were earmarked for your Christmas present, too.
They were what?
Earmarked. That's what the government does with money, so that's what I did.
How?
Well, I put ink all over my ears and pressed both bills against them. I think the theory is that no two people have ears alike. You know, like Fingerprints, only easier to see.
Well, that must keep Mr. Morgenthau pretty busy.
Yeah, it just does.
Now, listen, let's just sit down here and reconstruct what you did when you hid the money. What did you do first?
Well, first I got me an envelope.
Come in.
Whose car is that out in front?
The black one? Well, that's a kind of a combination ownership, Bud. Me and the finance company.
I see you have an age sticker on the windshield. Do you do any pleasure driving?
Take him for a ride around the block, McGee. That'll answer that question. In that car, sir, you get more pleasure walking.
And I don't quite understand
Let me see your draft registration card, please.
Okay, here you are, Bud. I'm not only a little overage, but I got a lot of collateral defendants. I got collateral at the First National, the Morris Plan, the building and law.
Never mind. How much coffee have you got?
Oh, well, about a half a pound.
Sugar?
No, thanks, just cream.
Now, look here, Bud. I don't mind answering questions.
McGee, this is war.
Yeah. Sure, we read about it in the papers, but what?
I only have a few more questions, then I'm through. Have you been buying war bonds?
But we've been buying war bonds till we're red, white, and blue in the face. And I've licked the back of so many war-saving stamps, everything I eat tastes like glue. Now, if you don't mind...
I hope you're not complaining.
Certainly we complain. Everybody complains, and it doesn't mean a thing. And now, if you please explain
McGee,
why.
I see you have cuffs on those trousers. Did you buy that suit after restrictions were put on clothing?
No, I didn't. And while I don't like to be personal, Bud, there are still a few people who need a cuff on the pants. Will you please tell us just who you...
Just one more thing. The government doesn't want you to buy anything you don't need. They're trying to keep prices at a reasonable level, encourage buying bonds and paying off debt. We want this country to be on a sound financial footing after this war is over. Now remember that.
Just what is your connection with the government?
Oh, my goodness, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Mr. Tolliver. I just moved into the brick house down the street.
Oh, I'm glad to know you, Tolliver. This is my wife,
How do you do, I'm sure. Just what department of the government are you in, Mr. Tolliver?
Oh, I'm not in the government, Mrs. McGee. I run the hamburger wagon down there at 14th and Oak. And I must say we serve the finest...
But what way do you got to come busting in here asking all them silly questions?
Well, I think when a man moves into a new neighborhood, he naturally wants to know all about his neighbors. Certainly is nice to have met you folks. Good night.
Well, of all the brassy, nervy people I ever
Tells
met...
me I'm going to have trouble with that mug. He's going to get in my hair, and there ain't enough room in it for anybody but me.
A self-appointed cop.
Oh, never mind, McGee. Let's concentrate on finding your $15. Now, what did you do after you got the envelope?
Well, now, let me think. I put the money in the envelope and sealed it.
Yes.
Then I started looking for a hiding place.
Yes.
First, I thought I'd hide it in the hall closet. And then I says to myself, no, I says. I'm going to clean out that closet one of these days. So I takes the envelope.
Oh, for goodness sake. Come in.
Hello, Mrs. McGee. Hello, Mr. McGee.
Oh, Mr. Wimp.
Hi, Wimp, old man. Why the suitcase? You running away from home again?
Oh, no, Mr. McGee. I'm going to Chicago on a business trip for about 3 weeks.
Oh, is your wife going with you, Mr. Wimple?
No, she isn't, Mrs. McGee. I'm going to be terribly lonesome without her, too. Ouch.
What's the matter?
I was crossing my fingers so hard I almost broke them.
Well, what kind of a business trip is this, Mr. Wimple?
I'm going to see my publishers, Mrs. McGee. The ones who publish all my poetry.
Oh.
They sent me a telegram saying they wanted to see me.
Gee, they must think a lot of you, Wimp.
Yes. They wanted to publish my picture. I sent them some, and they wired right back. We don't believe it. Come in person. Wasn't that nice?
So you won't be here for Christmas, Mr. Wimple?
No, but Sweetie Face gave me my Christmas present before I left. Look, a check for $25.
Say, that's great, Wimp.
Isn't it, though? She says if I'm a good boy all year, but next Christmas she'll sign it.
She might even throw in the bladder.
Why, that old saber-tooth. I thought of a swell gift I'd like to send her, Wimp, but I hate to ask anybody to deliver it.
Oh, I'd be very happy to take it over, Mr. McGee.
Oh, no, you wouldn't. It might explode before you got there.
Not if you timed it right to the second.
What did you give your wife for Christmas, Mr. Wimple?
A great big bottle of cologne, Mrs. McGee, to be opened on Christmas morning.
Cologne, eh? What kind, Wimp?
I mixed it up myself, Mrs. McGee. Mostly carbolic acid.
Why, Mr. Wimple, that's liable to take the skin right off her face.
Yes.
that gunner's made of his, and Wimp will be a new man.
Poor little fella.
I'll be a poor little fella myself if I don't find that $15. If I wasn't such a numbskull, such a hopeless dope in a blue ribbon suit,
Oh,
I might...
stop it now.
Huh?
Let's take up where we left off. After you decided against hiding it in the closet, what'd you do?
Doggone it, that's what I can't remember. All I know is I put it someplace where I'd remember it just before Christmas.
Well, I'm sorry, McGee. I can't imagine where in the Dickens you...
Dickens! That's it. Now I remember. Here it is, right here in this book.
What book?
Dickens' Christmas Carol.
Whatever made you hide your money in that?
Safest place in the world. Nobody ever opens that book till Christmas time.
Winter weather is hard on our floors, we might as well admit it. When snow and slush and wet get tracked in, the floor surfaces need the protection of a tough coat of Johnson's wax. If you examine the waxed floor under a magnifying glass, you'd see that it's the wax that gets all the wear. The surface underneath is safe. And don't forget that with genuine Johnson's wax, you can touch up heavy traffic spots whenever necessary without having to re-wax the entire floor. Don't forget either that there are 100 extra labor-saving uses for wax around your home. Windowsills, Venetian blinds, luggage, shoes and boots, furniture, and woodwork. In these times when we have to take better care of the things we have, wax is a helpful ally.
That was a kind of a clever stunt at that, hiding this $15 in Dickens' Christmas Carol. Maybe I ain't such a fool after all.
No. You really have some bright moments, McGee.
Yeah, I guess I do that. Well, all's well that ends well. Here, you keep the $15 for me. I gotta throw this envelope in the wastebasket.
Well, this isn't $15. This is the envelope.
Huh? Oh, my gosh. I tore up the money.
What?
Oh, if I ain't the worst muddle-headed. More than ever should have had $15 in the first place. I'm the dumbest, dilliest, dim-witted dumb. Good night.
Good night, all.
The characters of the old-timer and Wallace Wimple heard on our program were played by Bill Thompson. This is Harlow Wilcox speaking for the makers of Johnston Wax Finishes for the home and industry, inviting you all to join us again next Tuesday night. Good night. This program reached you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Just a week with the loader.
The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with music by Billy Mills Orchestra, and featuring tonight a very special musical score written by Ken Darby, arranger and director of the King's Men. The show opens with Who? Like a thermometer for measuring increased activity and hustle and bustle around the house, it would certainly kick over the traces in this week before Christmas. What with shopping and cooking and street trimming and being an air raid warden besides, there's certainly lots to be done. But in spite of how busy you are, you still want your home to look its best for the holidays. Have you ever stopped to think how useful wax is at such a time? Truth is, if your floors, furniture, and woodwork have been regularly protected with genuine Johnson's Wax, that special holiday cleaning can be done in short order. A quick dusting and polishing, a touch-up with wax where needed, and your rooms are glowing with mellow beauty, ready for the visits of your family and friends. For over 50 years, Johnson's Wax has helped brighten homes at the Christmas season. Nights before Christmas, and all through the house at 79 Wistful Vista, not a creature was stirring, except Fibber McGee and Molly.
don't like to seem repetitious, but hadn't you better get your Christmas shopping done?
Oh, Christmas shopping, Christmas shopping, Christmas shopping. Every year the same thing. It makes me sick.
Yes, I know, dearie. We go through this every year.
What do you mean?
You howl and scowl, and the day before Christmas, the spirit hits you like a baseball bat. And you do everything but grow a beard and climb down chimneys.
Oh, gee whiz. Christmas is getting too commercial. It's getting so...
Sure. We ought to have rubber stamps made for this whole conversation.
What you mean again?
Well, every year you say Christmas is getting too commercial, and every year I have to scold you for spending too much.
Oh, me? I just spend what I have to get by, that's all. I go along with the mob. There ain't any beautiful Yuletide thoughts with me, baby.
Oh, go on.
No tinsel snow gets in my eyes. If I spend any dough, it's just because it's the easiest way out.
Now listen, McGee, you're a fraud. You're a phony. Why, you're so scared somebody will find out you're sentimental, you act like a dead end kid.
Sentimental my clavicle. The whole thing is a lot of tapioca. I wouldn't give a half-hearted hoot and happy sack if I never saw what you got there.
This is the mail that came this morning. It's mostly just Christmas cards.
Let me see him.
You wouldn't be interested. They're just the same old Christmas malarkey.
What do you mean, malarkey? Don't you realize people have gone to a lot of time and trouble to... Was there any other mail?
Just a couple of bills. Incidentally, what's this item on the Bonton bill for one mama doll, $8.50?
Mama doll?
Now listen, don't try to look so innocent. Not that I mind your playing with dolls, if they're made out of plaster. But you certainly didn't buy this one for me, did you?
No, I bought that for the little girl across the street.
Oh, I think that's very sweet.
It was not sweet. I'm giving it to the little pest as a bribe to stay out of my life.
It's strange how much she annoys you, isn't it?
I never saw such a little nuisance. Always butting in where she ain't wanted.
I know. You hate her so much that last year you gave her a $2 Valentine. You gave her a white rabbit for Easter.
Well,
Took her to the circus twice. Spent 3 days fixing her tricycle, and you did card tricks through her bedroom window when she had the mop.
Well, that don't mean I like her, does it?
Doesn't it?
No. That was an old Valentine that had been kicking around here for years. I gave her that rabbit because I thought it would annoy her old man. I fixed her tricycle so she could go someplace else besides around here. And I took her to the circus because they always give kids better seats than they do grown-ups, and I was taking advantage of her helpless condition to practice my card tricks. And she never caught on. Thought I was doing it all for her.
Come off it, dear. You're not fooling anybody.
I ain't trying to fool anybody. All I'm saying is that Christmas has lost its meaning. It's got so people don't...
Come in.
Hello, Mom. Hiya, Skimp. Well, if it ain't Billy Mills, the poor man's Toscanini.
Hello, Mr. Mills.
Come on in, William, my boy. Hang your hat on a hickory limb and don't go near the piano. What's confusing with the music, kid?
Just stopped in to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Ah, Merry Christmas, blah. What's merry about it? Walk your wedgies off in the slush to find a lot of junk for a few mugs that won't appreciate it. Hanging a ton of gewgaws on a pine tree that looks better in the woods. Scratch your hands all up on a handful of holly to hang in the window so you can stick yourself in the eye with it when you look out to watch the mailman breaking his back with a sack full of silly Christmas cards. Merry Christmas, blah. And a Happy New Year.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mills. The same to you. And don't pay any attention to McGee. You know, he goes through this act every year. He's got those don't wrap up that packet, Christmas is just a racket blues.
Ah, don't worry, Mom. I can read him like a book.
What kind of a book?
He's a mystery. A very novel character.
Fine type, too. One of the lower cases.
Somebody ought to borrow him and not bring him back.
Maybe we could arrange with the Book of the Month Club to offer him as a special treat.
Oh, cut it out. Lay off, will you? Even if the rib was as prime as you think, this is a meatless day.
Ever play the bagpipes, Alfred?
And don't call me Alfred.
Okay, Joe, ever play the bagpipes?
I don't think he ever did, Mr. Mills. You think he could?
Sure, got a head start. Big bag of wind. All he needs is a flute. Well, it's got to be gone. Merry Christmas again.
Well, same to you, Oskaloosa Sousa. What's all the rush?
Oh, I got to drop in to see my mother-in-law. She's AWOL.
Oh, you mean absent without leave?
No, a welder out of Lockheed.
wonderful band leader, McGee.
Ah, band leader Mike Clavicle. I think all of them are just a bunch of fakers myself. You ever see a musician looking at the leader? No. They don't know whether he's beating out a march, a polka, a waltz, or just swatting flies.
Well, then what keeps them together?
That check at the end of the week. Confidentially, one of them guys told me.
Oh, I wonder who that could be.
Ah, probably somebody else coming in to wish us a Merry Christmas when all they really want to see is if you ever got those new curtains for the dining room.
Well, I didn't, and the same as them. Come in.
Hi, mister.
Uh-oh. Now, this is all I needed today. Sis, why don't you take your little sled and go out on the pond in the park?
Oh, there isn't any ice on it, mister.
Yes, I know.
Hey, don't be like that. You were young once yourself, you know.
Well, I wasn't that young this long.
Be very tactful with him today, little girl. You know, his Christmas spirit is later than usual this year.
Well, doggone it, the whole thing is a very foolish arrangement.
Why, mister?
Why, the idea of having Christmas come right in the middle of the holidays. Right when everybody is their busiest. It's ridiculous.
Look, mister, I got business to see you about.
Oh, yeah?
You like to hear children sing Christmas carols?
Oh, sis, there's nothing I love more than to have a little group of childish voices stand outside my window and blast their melodious little brains. Particularly if I ain't home that night.
Oh, gee, mister, I got my whole gang outside, and they're awful anxious to sing you a Christmas carol, and I told them...
Well, I don't like to hear Christmas carols butchered by a bunch of kids. How can anybody sing good standing hip deep in a snowdrift with a muffler over their face, wondering how many fingers and toes they'll have left when they get home, if they ever do?
Oh, maybe you're still mad on account of last year. Are you, mister? Are you?
No, I'm not. That has nothing to do with it.
What's this? What happened last year that I don't know about?
Oh, nothing. She's
Well, us kids were going around singing Christmas carols.
Now, never mind, sis. That's ancient
And
history.
Mr. McGee came
Now,
out...
never mind. Now, never mind. Give the kid a cookie, Molly. Imagine she's... Hey, sis?
Oh, gee, thanks, mister. Anyway, Mr. McGee came out while we were...
Sis, I told you nobody was interested. Now, let's just drop the whole subject. What kind of a cookie you want?
Any kind, thanks. And a glass of milk.
Well, I'll see if I can...
Now, listen, what happened with the Christmas carol?
And Mr. McGee came running out of the house.
Now, you cut that out, sis.
And he wanted to sing with us, only when we heard him sing, we didn't want him to, and he followed us all over town. Gee, we couldn't get rid of him, and he kept trying to sing, and people threw things at us, and all it was awful. How'd you like to be a princess? And she said, oh boy, and I testimonials for cold cream. And they got married and lived happy ever after. You want to hear another one, Mr. Once Upon a Time?
No. That's enough, sis. Thank thanks anyway. You told me at least 14 of them.
Are you sure you don't want to hear any more?
I'm positive, sis.
Okay, then get off my lap.
Well, heavenly days, McGee. What are you trying to do, crush the child?
No, she wanted to pretend I was her little boy and tell me some stories. Now I know why they call them grim fairy tales. That's the grimmest half hour I ever spent in my life.
Oh, gee, I thought it was fun.
No, you did. Well, personally, I'd rather lie down with a good book under my head and go to sleep.
Can't you two think up any more games to play?
I bet you I know how to be fun, I bet you.
What, sis?
Well, I could bring my little playmates in and we could sing you some Christmas carols. They must be pretty cool out there.
I don't want to hear any Christmas carols. Christmas carols are beautiful music. And to hear your little mob of half-pint hepcats slaughter 'em would ruin my day. Very thought of those kindergarten contraltos drives me to drink. Get me some root beer, will you, Molly?
Yeah, me too. Hey, mister, let's play Star, shall we?
How do you play that?
Well, first you give me, maybe about $3 and change, huh?
Give you $3? Hey, what is this? First you eat 2 dozen cookies, and then you want to borrow $3. You trying to put the bite on the hand that feeds you?
Oh, gee, it's lots of fun, mister. First we post a lot of ceilings.
I don't want to buy a ceiling. We got one.
This is different, mister. Us storekeepers have got to post ceiling prices so people won't have to pay too much for stuff, and it keeps the cost of living down a reasonable level, and the prices won't go pig wild.
Hog wild.
You know your own habits best, mister. Anyway, we got to keep prices from getting out of hand for the merchandise that's getting scarce, so after the war we won't have inflation, you see.
Hey, aren't you getting a little out of your depth, sis? What do you know about economics?
Oh, my daddy told me.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we had a little high talk last night, you know.
Oh,
yeah, he says I'm at the age where I ought to know certain things. Like not paying 10 cents for a lollipop that's worth only 5 because then I'm bidding against somebody that can only pay 5 cents for a lollipop. Besides, spend an extra nickel, it ought to go toward a war bond, which will help pay for the war and give me a nest chicken afterwards.
You mean a nest egg?
By that time, it'll be a chicken.
Well, be that as it may or may not be or not, sis, we won't play store. I got a better game.
What, mister?
Scoopy. Did you ever play Scoopy?
What on earth is Scoopy?
Oh, it's a wonderful game.
How do we play it, mister?
Well, it's like this. You run home, hide in the closet, and put your hands over your eyes and count up to 79 million.
Oh, and then what?
Now, by that time, we'll both be so old we'll have forgotten what we started out to play, which is the object of the whole game. Now, I'll get your hat and coat, and you...
Hello, folks. Merry Christmas. Oh, hello, little girl.
Hi, Mr. Wilcox. Hi, what is this?
I haven't got time to stop and talk. Just wanted to leave this little Christmas gift for Molly.
Well, heavenly days, Mr. Wilcox. You shouldn't have done.
Oh, it isn't very much, and don't open it before Christmas. But I think it's something you'll like.
I got one for you, too, Junior, but it ain't wrapped up yet.
Oh, that's okay, pal, anytime. Remember, Molly, don't open that package before Christmas, because I want you to be surprised.
I promise, Mr. Wilcox. My, it's wrapped beautifully.
I wrapped it myself, especially for you.
Shake it, Molly, and see if it rattles.
I bet you that wouldn't be fair, I bet.
Of course it wouldn't. I want it to be a surprise. You just put it away till Christmas.
Oh, I think I'm going to love it, Mr. Wilcox.
I know you'll love it, because millions of other housewives do, because it's so easy to apply and shines as it dries. Your beautiful mirror-like polish in 20 minutes or less, and saves hours of housework, to say nothing of eliminating old-fashioned floor scrubbing. And boy, what it does for the looks of your kitchen linoleum is amazing. But I won't say any more, or I might give you a hint. Merry Christmas, all of you.
I wonder what it is.
Hey, sis, ain't it about time your mother ought to be worrying about why you don't come home?
No.
Huh? Look, I've been very patient with you today. Now, why don't you do something for me?
Okay, mister.
Fine. Now, come back maybe tomorrow, and I'll have a surprise for you.
I got a surprise for you, too, mister. I got some little friends outside here waiting to sing your Christmas.
Doggone it. How many times I got to tell you I don't like kids singing Christmas carols? I don't want to hear any.
I'll get it, dearie.
Well, if it's this little girl's mother, Molly, tell her yes. She'll be right home, I hope.
79 Wistful Vista, Molly McGee speaking. Long distance. Yes, I'll hold the phone. Yes, Oh, is that you, Myrtle?
Hey. That's no fair.
How's every little thing, Myrtle? It is, huh? Who, Myrtle? Your brother?
I hope it ain't funny.
Went fishing through the ice, huh? Well, isn't he the lucky one?
What'd he get, Molly?
The cherry out of his planter's punch. What'd you say, Myrtle? Yes, I'm ready. Hello? Well, for goodness sake, you're the last person in the world. What? Yes, he's fine.
Who is it? Who?
Oh, yes, indeed. We'd love to see you. Yes, do. And plan on having dinner with us.
Hey, wait a minute.
Oh, we'll be delighted. Well, thanks for calling, and we'll be expecting you next week.
Next?
Goodbye, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Gildersleeve?
I bet you I remember him, I bet you. He's the man who always laughs with his stomach.
Yeah, speaking in the vernacular, we call that a belly.
Never mind. Mr. Gildersleeve says he's coming to visit us next week, and he'll be here for dinner.
Boy, ain't it wonderful and strange what some guys will do to get the extra pat of butter these days. But I'll be kind of glad to see the old flimp at that.
Oh, dear. Come in.
Oh, gee, it's Mrs. Uppington. Hi, Miss Uppington.
Well, hello, little girl. And good afternoon, Mrs. McGee. And Mr. McGee.
Hello, Abigail.
Hi, Uppy. Won't you wiggle out of the minx and drape the frame on an orange crate for a spell?
Oh, thank you, no, Mr. McGee. I just dropped by to wish you both a very, very Merry Christmas.
Well, thank you, Abigail. The same to you. And take that sour look off your face, McGee.
Well, doggone it,
I guess he doesn't like Christmas very much, Miss Uppington.
Well, is it my fault that Christmas ain't what it used to be? It's too commercial. My gosh.
Oh, McGee. He doesn't mean a word of it, Abigail. He's just an old softy who's afraid somebody will find out about it.
I've never known such a
You
thing.
are too, I bet you. You gave me $10 on account there's some little orphans in school who won't have any.
You keep out of this, sis.
Okay.
You don't have to hurry away, do you, Abigail? I was just going to make a pot of tea.
Oh, no, I can't stay, my dear. You know, I still have 2 days' work as Santa Claus at 14th and Oak Street. Oh, now, it's been such fun, really. Quite an experience.
That costume and the beard really fools them, eh, Uppy?
Oh, they really do, Mr. McGee. I've been a Santa Claus for 2 weeks now, and I've been given 23 cigars, 7 hot tips on the races, and business cards from 2 coffee leggers. Oh, well, it's been a rich experience. I feel younger every day. And as Mr. McGee will probably say after I leave, no one can stand it better than I. Well, Merry Christmas, all.
No, and she might have given me a handful of them cigars people have been giving her.
Oh, McGee, there's plenty of cigars in your humidor.
Okay, but if she wasn't so stingy, she might have...
Hey, why won't you let me and my friends sing a Christmas carol? Why won't you, Miss McGee?
Well, frankly, dearie, he'd love it. But he knows himself too well. When he hears those Christmas songs, he goes all mushy inside. Now, look, you pretend he hurts your feelings and make believe you're going home.
Hey, I hope somebody gives me a box of cigars for Christmas because I only want... Hey, what goes on here? What are you two whispering about?
She says I better go home, mister.
Huh?
She says you're mad at me because I want to have the kids sing the Christmas carol.
Oh, now, I ain't mad exactly, sis.
I bet you are, I bet you. And gee, the kids have been out there in that cold all afternoon on account of...
Now, that's it. Now, cut it out. The only reason I didn't want him to sing is well, gee whiz.
Oh, it's okay, mister. I know how you feel. Thanks for the cookies and things.
Hey, don't rush away like this, sis. My God. I'll listen to your old Christmas carol if it means that much.
No.
I just thought...
No, you don't like them.
I do too like them. I only
You
thought...
don't either like them.
I do too.
You don't.
I do so.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Now, look, sis. Here. Take my handkerchief and wipe
Thank
your
you.
nose.
Thanks.
Now bring in your half-pint glee club and let them do their work, which I imagine is pretty bad.
Well, they're not bad. They're wonderful.
Okay, so they're terrific. Bring them in.
All